updates. We got Fabian over there. We've got Andre. We've got Ramin. Thanks so much to Brendo as well. Thanks to Sharif and Joe for everything they've added, obviously. But you don't have to thank them through me. They're going to be on right now. So let's go over to the midday show. Thanks for everybody for watching. Adara's back tomorrow. Neil's back tomorrow. We're back at 2 p.m. Ciao for now.
Bello. Matteo always says that to me. He's like, ciao bello.
Ciao bello.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show. This right there is your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And your boy's already Tesla. Oh, that's Katina, man. Tesla long, triple Q short. All right, guys, it is a very busy day in these here markets. So let's say hello to everyone. We got KC 526. Guten Morgen. All right, shout out to Casey Brown Lightning, Papacito. We got Christmas. We got Capote, Gora VOG, and Lee the Conductor. Shout out to the Fluffsters, Fluffy Hippo, Rudy Enriquez. We got Ichiro. What's up? Right back at you, Jay Koingi and Neely, YOLO, Jock. We got who else, man? Mike, PD Ryder, DJ Race. We got Pete, Zaza Pi, Rogelio, Concepcion. We got Holly coming out of New York City. Shout out to Doc. Shout out to Andrew Sandoval. Shout out to who else? Wicked, Chunky, Slayin, Stocks Girl. I love the name. We got All Class, Adam DeLuce. You know, I think he's a really, really big Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about that while ADL was here, but we're going to get into that.
London is blue.
London is not blue. DJ Darkroom, K2 Unknown, and Dashin42 Joey. Shout out to Wyatt as well, man. TX Badger and Boosted Red Spot. Yeah, he is. See that, Joey? See that? He is a Chelsea fan. I knew it, man. I knew the second I called him Arsenal Adam and he asked me to stop, I knew something was afoot. We still love you, though, Adam DeLuce. All class, Adam. Good morning, Joey.
Yeah, good morning. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I have to go to the washroom because I was just hyper-focused over here. And I'm like, yeah, I can't get up out of my desk. So, I mean, we'll rock and roll. We'll get into what we were trading here. And then take a short one, but it won't take it. All right, guys, let's see what we want. For only loss of the session is going to be an APLD. Looking for that move higher. Strong momentum to the downside. Looking for the bounce. Like the overall market was trading higher, so all right, let's take our chances on this one. Nope, it was a no-go, so we get stopped out immediately. But nonetheless, guys, let's head over to TSLL, and we were trading a little bit of SMR as well. This was earlier in the morning. I broke this down to you guys not too long ago. So you can see 20.95 was that entry price, and then we're going to get out. That's our out at 20.85. So we wait until we hit that 2-to-1 target, and then we start piecing it out, and then sure enough, boom, boom, boom. I went for the reload there on this indecision print right at the volume-weighted average price. We get a little bit out, but then it just comes right back to my break even. So we got stopped out of that, and then Tesla went on this nice monster run. Now, as for SMR, guys, Sharif's talking to me. People will be like, yo, Joe. And I'm like, man, I gotta focus over here. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm like, obviously, as soon as I hop into the stock, it decides to move sideways for a period of 5-10 minutes. But anyways, nonetheless, guys, we're in at 1690s. We were literally risking 5 cents on this trade, 1685s, and then we wait until we hit that 1-to-1 right there at 95s, and then we piece them out, comes back to the break even, and we get stopped out. It did climb up to 1705, but that's no worries. A nice risk to reward. Even though it was at a 1-to-1, we're not going to complain about it whatsoever. A weaker stock, so I wasn't expecting a continued move here, or it was going to be a little bit choppy, and we've seen that on SMR and APLD and a couple of other names. But this was the actual entry that I was looking for here on SMR, but I didn't get the pullback that I was looking for. So I was like, be patient, let it do its thing. And then it was this specific indecision candle that made me get involved once again. So on this pullback, I've been working on a couple of things. So on the pullback, if you see that buying pressure start to step back into the market, then that's when I want to get involved. So we had a couple opportunities to do so. You get that leg higher, pullback, forms the indecision print, and then look at this aggressive move to the top side. So that was a pretty good trade right there in APLD, and the exact same thing right here, guys. Buying pressure, buying pressure, buying pressure. Let's get involved. I get that little bit of a pop, and then it comes back to the break even. But a missed trade of the day was Netflix right at the volume-weighted average price, indecision print right at VWAP, and then boom, off to the races there. So I was posted up, actually, but I just never caught the fill. It went without me there.
All right, guys, let's get right down to work because there is a whole lot moving today, most notably weed. Weed, very, very strong. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. You want to look at MSOX? You want to look at MSOS? You want to look at TLRY? How about, well, ACB is not that good. Grow Generations, GRWG. We got Chronic, CRON. We got Cureleaf, CURLF. They're all very strong. I'm working my way into TLRY now. TLRY, $13.50 high a day. Last, it comes back down into the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. Did I get to 69, Phil? Man, come on, bro. What's the low of this candle? 71. All right, that sucks to be me. So it didn't cross, so it's all good. Yes, so it comes back down into the 10 exponential on the 5, or around 12 and a three quarters, pardon me. But here's the deal. It's not just the 10 EMA on the 5 that I'm looking at. Take a look at this double top right at 10 o'clock and 10:05. There is a double top that almost exactly rejects Katina Man off that $0.75 and then drops all the way down, holds VWAP. So technicals being respected on the day by at least TLRY for the moment. So there we get a nice little pop off that 10 EMA. What do we got on? We got 86s. It's showing me 82s. So look, if this one catches a bid, wants to make its way back up to 13, we're going to get involved. But it is a strong time. The last few days, I want to say going into last week when we got basically the rumors that President Trump was looking at rescheduling marijuana vis-a-vis an EO. It's been very strong, and then we get confirmation from the GOAT himself about what he actually wants to do. So that's what we're keeping an eye on right now. I'm involved in TLRY, but there is plenty moving. A couple of holdovers from yesterday. Case in point, most notably AMCI. This one's up bigly. Let's see, to the tune of what here? 75%. You can see that I've got the ticker on from yesterday. This was very strong during the day, and then all hell broke loose at 405. Well, what's going on at 405, Joey? Well, there's this little nuance to the market that says after 4 o'clock, no volatility halt parameters. Before 9:30, no volatility halt parameters. So the degens, including myself, that trade these small cap gappers, and I say that jokingly, of course, they love the pre-market, they love the aftermarket because things can really squeeze, and that's exactly what happened with the AMCI yesterday. Right at 405, this thing rocketed up off the closing print at 7:30, and when all was said and done, like 2 minutes later, it had more than doubled up into 1510, and that's where we find the high of the day on today at actually 1504. So we haven't cleared that aftermarket high from yesterday, and based upon my system, I treat the aftermarket high very similarly, if not the same, as the pre-market high because of the same reasons of why that is. I'm going to get to that later, but AMCI, a holdover, another holdover. Oh, wow, Joey, we just pumped up bigly on TLRY, and we're not even wetting the beak, Joe. That's what happens when we have to review these things and we can't trade and focus on the trade. So now this thing rocketed up, and I took no prints. So we got 98s now. There it goes, right back into 99. I got to digress from my analysis here to take some beak wetters. But there's another holdover that I was trying to get to before I was distracted by TLRY. YCBD, another very strong name from yesterday. This one did give up the ghost, though, in the afternoon. It lost VWAP, it lost trend. Today it's having a good day, up 15%, and it's holding the 10 EMA on the 5. It's not my favorite, but we're going to keep an eye on it. So those are the two holdovers from yesterday, YCBD, AMCI. But there's new ones. We got Chow, like the dude that I always ask for Mandarin help, in the back, $1.14 high, holding trend, a couple of bull flags under its belt, and I gotta love when the volume weighted average price or another technical indicator overlaps with that psychological area of support or resistance, most notably here, the dollar level, and that's exactly what Chow had. It had VWAP at the buck. We cleared the buck to the tune of 14 pennies. We drop back down, we hold the buck, and here we are again, right back near the highs, looking to clear the high of the day. We're gonna be keeping an eye here on CHOW. ALDX, Very, very strong, very directional right from the get-go. Right at 9:30, the buying was in and it was strong. And then we had basically a buy program that operated for about a half an hour, and now we're getting this area of consolidation, this bull flag pattern, right? The beautiful part about this is we're still holding technicals, so you're going to find your boy probably trying to work in the low fives, 510, 509, try to get some money fills for a top break through the quarter dollar and maybe onto the half or even 6 ALDX. Certainly in focus for me. CPAC, not that channel that nobody watches on cable, but CPAC holding $10 quite well. This one also had a nice bull flag right at 9:30. We break out, we get to 11:30, and now we're kind of putting in a sideways consolidation where VWAP and the $10 level are overlapping. I just finished saying how much I love when that happens. So much in focus here, Joey. MSOX as well. VERO might lose its spot on the coveted side chart as it did lose the volume weighted average price, but we're going to keep a close tab on that. But your boy is taking prints here on TLRY to the high side. We're going to wet the beak there and cancel oh, wow, Joey, there it goes again into 1306. So we got some good prints there. We're going to be looking to get some more here on your friend TLRY. We're going to be adding into this one because the trend is holding. So long as 13 holds and it holds that 10 EMA on the 5, it's going to have an interested buyer in me. TLRY up 20.
Neil, yo, LOL. Yeah, nice pick out there on IBIT, 9,290 contracts. That's going to be the second largest. What I'm seeing is a potential floor at 44 with 13,600 contracts sitting at that specific level. As for the puts, guys, 55, 12,500. So it's not the largest of strikes that are currently in the money on the put side, that is. But it's up there, so keep that in mind. In the money, we have that $55 strike price and that $50 strike price, and then out of the money, we have that 44 level and that 40 level. So those could be potential floors. If they're broken, then I think it's going to be absolutely disastrous. Yeah, so let's get over to see what we're looking at here. There's the TQs. You can see a lot of sideways price action here, but you have failed to establish a new high, and then now you're starting to come back in. Same thing with this SPY. You're trading south of the volume weighted average price. Hood's been relatively strong. Guys, focus on, like, this is exactly what I'm looking for, essentially. So I was thinking of a long or short here on IBIT, but it just tells you, let the price action form, and that's essentially what trading is at the end of the day. Just go over charts and look for patterns. It's pattern recognition. So you get this buying pressure stepping in IBIT, and then sure enough, you get that volume stepping in. I was pointing this out to Sharif earlier. I'm like, hey, yeah, that's some substantial volume on the buy side. The exact same thing as Hood. The details are in the candle prints, right? Every form of indicator is derived from price. So if you're following what price is doing, then you can set yourself up pretty well. There's NVDA, indecision print at those highs, but another more buying pressure right at VWAP as well too. This print here is extremely key in my opinion. I was going to look to take a short because why? Look at the TQs, look at the Qs, right? You failed to establish a new high. The exact same thing here on NVDA. So if we don't break that 177.50 level, sure enough, you get that indecision print, and now you're heading right back to the middle of this range. So that's a big time print. We didn't get to take advantage of it, but that's all right. There's going to be plenty. These choppy markets. Gaurav, where are you at? Are you in the chat there, brother? I just been thinking. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. No, it's just like risk to reward. And location is extremely key, and where you're looking for indecision. Like a lot of this stuff in the middle, that's nothing. But if you go to key specific areas like the volume weighted average price at extreme highs and extreme lows, and you get the detail within the prints, you can find yourself some solid setups. Wow. We did that. I'm still looking. Is it still going?
It's going, bro.
All right, nice. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll send it over to you. There's the 5-minute on SMR. We took one trade on this earlier, but if we do form another candle here, maybe I'll take one more stab. I'm willing to risk what I made on it for another potential solid opportunity here in SMR. So these are the tickers that I got going on right now. IBIT was replaced with APLD as the momentum to the downside was really aggressive, especially after it broke through some key signals, guys.
Okay. Guys, the what's it called? I don't know what that thing is called. Anyway, vote. Vote for your favorite tickers every day. Get it on the position board so that when I do the afternoon rundown, We talk about what you guys want to talk about, not what we choose. TLRY is absolutely rocketing up, man. We have 86s on. There goes the quarter dollar. It's up 21%. It's a fantastic hold of the 10 EMA on the 5. 1349 high of day. We're going to be looking to take some out on the way there, but I got a new position over here, ALDX. As I mentioned, this one bull flag in, so I want to build up my position towards the low end of the flag and then look to wet the beak for the breakouts to the high side. So that's all I'm looking at the moment. We've got a winner in TLRY. We're going to look to build a position ALDX. We got in small share size initially here on ALDX, and we want to add more if this one does continue up. Shout out to Drop Systems, RZLV. I did take a look at that. It's not bad. Into $3, he states. Can you take a look at RZLV? See if it meets your small gap requirements. It does. It's above VWAP, above the pre-market high. Not quite above the pre-market high, but close. It has to take out that 913 high, which I believe is 318. Although bad PR today, Resolve AI highlights financial challenges with debt concerns. It interests me much, much less what the fundamental reason that these small caps are moving. I trade them almost exclusively on technicals, and most of the time, I want to say 7 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, I don't even look at the headline. Most of the times when I look at the headline, it's to answer a question in the chat. I don't care why they're running. It's completely unrelated to my investing and my swinging style, where the actual news item is very, very important. So we look at technicals almost exclusively for these small cap gappers. If they've got momentum and they're running, that's really the only reason I'm trading them in the first place. But let's take a look at RZLV. Give me a second, Assassino. We're gonna go over there in a second as soon as we take a look at this one for the OG Drop Systems. RZLV, right? Okay, so let's take a look at that. This is what I meant by it didn't take out the pre-market high. There's that 910 high, the high of which is 318. The official high of the day is 314. I like this. I worry about the double top, but there's always a stop loss for that. Build your position into this one with a possible stop out through 3 if you want to give it a bit more room. I mean, in the sense, like this candle here would have stopped you out if you had put your stop at 3 because it went to 299. Give it to like 297, 298, give it a bit of room, but there does seem to be a bit of consolidation ever since 1040. We've been a bit sideways. Build your position into 3 for a breakout above the pre-market high, and then, you know, if it loses that $3 area and you've given it enough room, then, you know, maybe set up at 290 or so where the volume weighted average price is. We're going to have a look at that and many more when we get back from Sia at the big desk.
Thank you. So quick crypto update. The crypto market cap fell by 2.7% to 2.94 trillion today. BTC dropped around 4%, around $86,100, which is raising 136 billion in market cap as the Chinese regulations shut down around 400,000 miners in Xinjiang. And moving on to Solana, SOL. Solana lost 5% today after enduring a massive DDoS attack, peaking at 6 TBPS, which is the 4th largest ever this week. But it's currently doing better, trading at 2.2% positive. And as for ETH, it fell by 6% to under $3,000, currently trading around $2,900, facing some selling pressure and 174 million in liquidations. Also, another thing, spot Ethereum's ETF saw an outflow of 225 million yesterday, making its largest daily outflow since 20th of November this year. And that's all. Back to the guys.
Good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sia.
Bang, there it is, guys. A nice fill on SMR once again. Sharif, you've seen the average price, 16.85, literally giving this one to 16.85 cents. Okay. We hit that 1-to-1. We take a little bit off. We still have the majority of our position remaining.
Get it,
Sharif.
Joey.
When the voice goes up,
oh,
you
no.
know.
It's going up, Joey. Oh, no, he's
Chef,
printing.
Who is Chef Joe? I might have to steal your name, brother, because I'm cooking up a storm over here at all costs. We're going to hit the stone cold. But another attempt, guys, just looking at the same price action signals, and there's an additional big pop there in SMR, Sharif.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Oh, what a nice trade. Boom, boom, boom.
His name's Joey Options, baby.
It is, but we
should
trade,
be Joey Profits.
It should be, I don't even know what to call myself at this point. Hey, but no, in all seriousness, guys, just having a little bit of fun with it and just sticking to the same system. Oh, is that what you want, Sharif?
I just want Rizbot, bro. Where's my boy Rizbot at, man?
That's
racist.
Get
it, Joey.
SMR, man. This thing was giving me a headache. Hey, listen, I was swing trading this thing. I took actually a loss on SMR. I was in at like 20, and then a guy from work, his name is literally in the chat, a guy from work, I said, yeah, 18 is your out. And and that's what happened. We got that nice little pop on the daily, but it wasn't sustained. Dang. And then I seen it on a couple other tickers. I was looking at the quantum space as well, too. And it did the same thing. You get that failed break. You do get a nice move higher, but then it immediately broke down after that. So I was like, get out of Dodge, wait for it to cool down a little bit. It's still down substantially off its previous all-time high, Sharif. But yeah, we're cooking nice right here on APLD. I'm actually going to take off half right here, and then we're going to let the other half rock and roll, guys.
He's going to let it rock and roll. I like it, man. Yeah, Joey, this is a good morning. ALDX, we're going up, baby. It's still holding trend. We got in at 19s. We just wet the beak at 25s. Looking for continuation into this bad boy into 30. That's the next profit taker there. Look, I have a couple of dip trades that have gone unfilled. As you see, I'm waiting at 9s. Maybe I need to move up my my dip trades a little bit more, which I'm going to actually. I'm going to try to get some money fills here in the high teens. Let's go 18, see if we can get something in and around that level. Oh, crap. I just took out the entire position. Oh, no. Instead of adding, I took it out. Okay, not the right move. All right, no worries, no worries. Let's see if we can, is it valid to get in here? Yeah, I can get in. I'm going to get in smaller because that was a fat-fingered mistake. All right, all good. I do want to point out TLRY. TLRY is making lower highs. So candle at 1050, that is a high of the day, 1349. Then every subsequent candle after that 1050 candle on the 5-minute chart has been putting in lower highs. That's the bad news. The good news is it's still holding trend, which is decent. It's still holding the 10 EMA on the 5. I'm trying to decide whether or not I should be adding at this level. Even though it's putting in lower highs, it's also putting in higher lows, right? So I'm going to get in here. Let's give this one the old college try. Okay. Let's go back now to ALDX because we fat-fingered into that. That's a mistake. So we got in at 24s. Now it's going against me into 17s, which is fine. I still want to build my position here on ALDX, and I'll DCA into 5. So let's go ahead and take some into that level. Good look, good look. And now that we've added to the TLRY position, let's go ahead and wait for some profit takers. And there it goes almost immediately. We take some at 7s. Now we're going to post at 12s and 17. Let's see if we can get a nice price spike up on my friend TLRY. Looking for continuation. Now it's showing me 9s. There's 10s. Let's see if we can get across. There it goes. It's got to cross a little bit more over here for us to get that next fill. Happy with the trading today. Let's see what we did right there on ALDX. Okay, so we get a money fill. Let's go ahead and wait at 25s. And then we're going to also post up a little bit higher at 30. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on there. But I also mentioned Chow, CHOW, not doing a whole lot of volume given the price, almost $1 a name. Only 3.17 million shares traded on the day. Also, it is an Amex stock. If you've been watching the show for a while, you know how I feel about Amex stocks. I don't really like them, but we'll trade them if it is warranted. So we got a bit of a double top possibly forming here on CHOW at $1.14. However, it's still respecting trend. And there's not much distance between this current price action and VWAP where I would get out. So I'm going to build a position. We're going to enter Chow here with a small amount of shares, looking for continuation on this one. Joseph, what are you looking at?
Yes, sir. Some good stuff here on SMR. Thanks, Cora, for pointing that out. You can see 1685s. We get that move up into 17, so that's 15 right there. We'll take that, a 3-to-1 approximately. I didn't have a crazy amount of size on it, but we have 20% of it remaining, just a little bit less. Yeah, Fluffy Hippo. The thing
Fluffy.
Yeah, what's up, Fluff? So, I mean, this is really difficult for me to trade. There's no liquidity, right? So there's not much I can really say. Yesterday was extremely more liquid, but what we got going on today is, if you ask me, it's just, you can't trade that in my opinion. You'll just get caught in it. You won't be able to get out because the liquidity isn't there. And then just look at this from a daily. So it's disastrous on BTTC. So yeah, I'd be avoiding this at all cost. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. Trade at your own risk. But if there's no liquidity, I don't know what you're going to do, and that has next to none. I don't even know how many shares are traded. I'll pull it up for you, and we'll take a look at that right now. BTTC, and see how much volume it's actually put in. I won't see it here. I'll type it up on this one, BTTC. It has traded 113,000
breakout.
contracts. Chow, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just letting everybody know. Chow breaking out.
Nice.
Took out pre-market high, or took out day's high.
All right, bang, bang, bang. Oh, nice. You got a face slap over that one. We'll hit the ha-ha over there for you, my boy Sharif. But yeah, I mean, okay, so we're both cooking up today. Chef Sharif, man, he's on one today. So yeah, way to rock and roll, brother. I love it when both of us are having solid starts to the session. I hope you guys are as well, too. Don't forget, guys, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. Friday. It's not Saturday.
You're already going there, then,
Oh, I'm pretty sure Avatar Fire and Ash comes out. I know you're not familiar with that, Sharif, but that's okay. It's going to be a great movie. And then I think there's another fight on Saturday.
I think there's plenty of fights,
Andrew Tate versus Chase Demore on Saturday in Misfits Boxing.
And what are you thinking about that fight, Joey?
I don't know, man. I don't really have any opinions on it. Andrew better hope he doesn't lose, because all that, if he loses, man, all of that,
all that top G stuff is gonna sound super hollow.
If anything, yeah, exactly. So if he loses, then it's not. But Chase is a big boy, but he's kind of like, he's worse than Deontay with the boxing skills.
Yeah,
I mean,
is that how it is?
Yeah, he came in a little bit later.
Okay.
So yeah, but he better pray that he.
There's going to be a lot of people wanting Andrew Tate to lose. There's a lot of people that hate him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a lot of people are going to want him to lose for sure. But no, other than that, guys, we're pretty good today. We only have one losing trade. That's going to be on APLD. Tesla and SMR have been treating us really, really well, and we're going to continue to hold this trade until we either get stopped out, break even, or it comes into the volume weighted average price, guys.
VMAR, a new one. Thank you for the people in the chat mentioning this one. I applauded somebody for pointing it out, and then I forgot who, true to form. VMAR is halted to the upside. I'll get to that one in a second. Let's find a good trading screen for it here. So we took out a new high a day on Chow, but we're dropping back down into 13s now. Let's put VMAR. AMCI lost its spot on the side chart because it lost VWAP. Simple as that. So here's the deal. VMAR, Nasdaq name, up 176%. I just have to add it to the watch list on the side so that it updates. It's halted at $5, having halted 11/22/42. Earliest it will be open 11/27/42. That's if it opens after 5 minutes. So we need to be aware of when the stock's going to open. Secondly, the TAP, the theoretical auction price, showing 107, having halted at 105, so we're 2 pennies higher. So right now there's a buy imbalance during the halt. We're gonna keep an eye out on that. What are the technicals on it? Well, we just got above $1, having double topped at the dollar as a resistance level earlier at 10.25 and 10.30, and then we dropped all the way down to 60 pennies, lost 40%, just like that, and now we're back up, clearing the dollar into the high of the day at 105. So to say this was a bamboozler is kind of an understatement here. Now, how are we gonna trade this? What's the move? To me, it's not far enough, it's open, it's not far enough past the dollar for me to want to get in. I'm not going to get in here, Joey. I don't think we've cleared the dollar with a substantial amount enough. I need further clearance of the dollar, off which I can start using the dollar as an area of support. Here comes 105, here comes 1, and it looks like we may lose 1 here. Do we defend 1? We're back up into 101. The buyers are stepping in at the dollar. Does that mean we're going to see continuation? We're seeing it for now. So the bottom of this 5-minute candle is $1 on the dot, and there is a new high of the day. The buyers are stepping in here. There's another one. We're going to halt up, guys, unless this is a false halt. $1.20 now showing up on VMAR, up 215 clean percentage points right now, and looking to do some more damage. False halt down into 111. Is this the opportunity to get in? We're going to get in here. Loses $1, it loses me as a trader. Simple as that. We got 13s on. Let's post up at 18s. We're going to post up at 22s. Limit up, there we go. We got the beak wet at 18. I can't see where limit up is yet because the price action hasn't developed, but it's really as simple as it holding the dollar. There's 20. We're looking for continuation. 20 is the high of the day. We still haven't cleared that 20. I'm going to go ahead and post as well at 28. Should we find a nice move up, I will defend into the dollar, but I'm not going to get too aggressive with how much I'm adding, given that I added a little bit high. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on, Joe. I got a bunch of other trades. What are you doing?
Yeah, nice work there, brother. We're looking to take a little bit more. Christoph Ocean, brother. That's sick that you live right there. I mean, that's goals, brother. You have these days, cost of living. Yeah, I know, man. You have to. It makes life significantly easier. You're not paying the tax man for the Americans, Uncle Sam.
Tax man,
yeah,
tax man, tax man.
So, all right, guys. Yeah, let's see what else we got going on. We can post up at 1704s here on SMR to see if we can catch a little bit of a fill. Once again, I only told you I only have 20% left, so we'll take 10% off of that. Bang. Let's see if we can catch that. As soon as it hits the bid, we're going to be rocking and rolling. Yeah, we're going to shout out to, did you say Cash Me Outside? Yeah. Shout out to
Little
Danielle,
baby.
Danielle Bregoli.
Oh, wow.
Her name is. Yeah.
Remember her name and everything, eh?
I mean, she was pretty iconic for quite some time.
Joey, I'm just teasing you, bro.
I mean,
come on now, man.
Hey, it's all right, man. We could take a jab here or there. We were talking about Shinny not too long ago, and that's where a lot of beacon starts. But all right, guys, let's take a look at some of these.
I love it. You just say beacon? Yes. Do you know that? Oh man, what's his name? That Persian comedian who's a little bit bigger. He's from Toronto. He's hilarious.
Yeah. No.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, he always uses that word. I'll get you his name in a second. It's Dima or something like that.
His name's
Yeah, no, but Beacon. Beacon is Toronto man talk, so isn't it? It's like Toronto talk.
Who knows?
He's Beacon. He's Beacon.
If you guys want to hear an ugly accent, just listen to Toronto.
It's not nice.
I can't stand it
it's sometimes.
Not nice. Yeah, it drives me nuts. But anyways, aside from that, guys, we're still cooking up here in SMR. You can see that entry there. We were trading some Tesla earlier. If there's anything, it's not Russell Peters.
Nah, man, Nima something or another, guys.
Yeah, so if there's anything you want to go over from an option standpoint, just tag me. Let me know what tickers you guys are looking at. Here's NFLX, multiple touches of the volume weighted average price. You can see another bounce, but this was the ideal entry right here as you have that indecision print right at VWAP, and then boom, you get that move off to the races, about 50, 60 cents right there. So that's what we're looking for, man. Keep those stops relatively tight, and let's see what the Nasdaq is up to. So I got a lot on the radar, lots of indecision, and that's what I love about these choppy sideways markets. That's what I was going to tell you, Boris. Yes. I'm noticing when we have a lot of this ebb and flow within the market and not necessarily pure directional, you find a lot of these prints and it can set you up with some prime time opportunities.
Sounds good, man.
And we just caught you guys see, we caught the fill there on SMR.
All right, guys, I'm still holding 4 positions right now. I don't want to be in too many because they're moving. So I don't want to hold the ones that are moving too quickly, too many of them. Like we can hold some ones that are moving slower. Those are easier to deal with. So VMAR here, what do we got? We're going to take out some here on VMAR as it comes a little bit back down now. It's still holding trend in the sense that it's holding prior bar high or prior bar low, excuse me. Prior bar low on the prior candle is $1 on the dot. So that's fine with me because that's where I would stop out, right through the dollar. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm also keeping an eye on your friend TLRY over here because this one keeps making big moves. We got a nice winner now on TLRY into 117. I've been adding, taking out, as you can see, multiple ads, multiple, beak wetters there. Now let's go ahead and wait above the 20 penny area. We're gonna wait at 23. Let's see if it can get into that area there. Separately, I added into Chow, as this one did come back into the 10 EMA after making another high of day at 116. I've put a profit taker now at 14s and 17s, and then we're gonna leave that 22 profit taker just the way that it was. We're not gonna move that one. But it's VMAR, that's the big mover. This is the potentially big winner that we could have here. Here it comes into the high of the day again, 22. There's a seller at 22, it's a 23 penny high a day. If that seller at 22 and 23 gets removed, we might squeeze aggressively. We're already in focus on VMAR here because this is the #1 gapper in the market, up over 200%, and it's going to be on a lot of people's scanners. That means two things. The shorts and the longs will both have notice of it, but right now it feels like the longs or the bulls are in control, and we're looking to take out the high of the day at 123. I'm packing my patience on this one. I don't want to take out too much too quickly, but if it does come back into the dollar-ish area, I'm going to be adding into that area. ALDX is the only one that's displeasing me. Okay, what do we have on ALDX? And this was a mistake where we kind of fat-fingered a little bit, taking out the position, and we had to punch into the high. So I've got the position built up right now on ALDX at 21s. It's showing me 13s. Let's see if it comes into that money fill area. I want to say five single digits, 505, 506. We're going to keep an eye out on that. I'm going to continue to hold TLRY. Even though TLRY is putting in multiple lower highs, it's still holding trend at the 10 EMA with higher lows. So who's going to win out here? Are the bulls or bears going to win out? Because you've got lower highs, but at the same time, you've got higher lows. So a bit of a compression pattern there. Could be a bit of a skewed looking bull flag. Those are the four that I'm looking at right now. I'm only out of the money on ALDX, but I've got a plan for that one, or at least I think I have a plan. We're going to look to get more into the 5 single digits, and we'll manage these other ones at the same time, Joey.
Beautiful stuff. All right, guys, the Jameson, Neil Yo, and K Media, I got you guys covered. So let's get over that stuff right now. We're going to start it off here with BlackBerry. BlackBerry asked the Jameson. He said, Joe, can we take a look at BlackBerry's options chain? You ask and you shall receive. All right, guys. So at that $6 level, you can see that the volume is really, really cool, right? So you're going to have a lot of trouble. And look at that at the money IV, which I think is absolutely insane for a name that's not really that liquid from an options standpoint. 14,200 contracts still sitting open at that $6 level. There's a supply zone right at $5, and we're trading at $4.41. We can pull that up and see what the high of the previous couple days were, Monday and Tuesday. Obviously, today there may not be a high that's established, but what was yesterday's high on BlackBerry, and that's going to be right around the neck of the woods in which we're currently trading at. So no real correlation right there, guys. So there's BlackBerry. As for the put side, you're going to see some open interest at that $4.50 level. So maybe you get a little bit of an elastic effect and a rebound you can bounce off of here in BlackBerry. Now on to the next one, guys. Neil Yo asked for Meta. Absolutely. Let's pull up META, Zuck and Company, and see what we got going on. At the money IV around 30.4%. I had this on the call of the day for yesterday, so you can see that it's substantially cooler than what it was yesterday. At that 650 level, 12,600 with 6,720 contracts. What the days did I just do? All right, we didn't want to do that. So, all right, so there it is. The highest level is going to be right at roughly that at the money strike because we're trading at 649.51, so not a horrible look whatsoever. And last but not least is Lyft, LYFT, for our good friend K Media. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. K Media at the money IV around 60%, 8,000 contracts still currently open at that $20 strike price. We can see we're trading at 19.19. Volume relatively cool. As for the puts, $18 could be a potential base. You have 22,200 contracts. If sitting still open at that specific level, if it cracks and heads to 15, then maybe you get an additional bounce there. So there's a little bit of breathing room in between these two levels that you can keep an eye out on. Now, as for SMR, guys, you can see that it's starting to come back aggressively. We were posted up at 1706. We weren't fortunate enough to get that, but again, I have small potatoes left on this, leaving some for a runner. We took the bulk of our position off up around here, around 1693, so added 2-1, and now we're cooking up. So yeah, that's what we got. Market's starting to take an additional leg lower, and there goes NVDA cracking through some necklines, guys. Keep an eye out for that 175 level to be breached, and then this might drag the market lower, Sharif.
All right, shout out to Lemon Family, man. We appreciate you, love the show. I joke around, but you guys actually make me money. Unlike the $400 stocks, your small cap gappers are where I win. Thanks for keeping it accessible. We always appreciate the kind words, man. And, you know, there's just so many different styles to trade. You know, some people trade penny stocks, literally 1 or 2 pennies, and some trade, you know, much more expensive stocks. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. So do appreciate the kind words there, brother. And stick with us, man, because we're doing it every day. We're doing it live. As, you know, we always joke around, Joey and I, but we actually, you know, we're trading the same things every day. You know, Joey's going to always have his in focus, so are mine. So stick with us. Let us know exactly what you want to see as well. Maybe some other names that we don't cover. Just tag us in the chat just like you did there. I appreciate the kind words, brother, always. All right, guys, let's get right down to work. TLRY flattened out. I need a bit of a better setup here, so we'll take the rest of the profits at 7s, and we'll get at a dodge on that one. So I don't mean to say it's going to break down. It's just the technical setup that's going on right now I'm not really liking. But there's another one coming to market right now, VOR. I'm going to get to it in a second. I just need to manage my positions right now. On Chow, I added into the drop into the volume weighted average price. It's going to have to hold this level for me to stay interested. Let me put in my stops right now. So we're going to go exactly like that. And then we'll give it a bit of room, as we always do. In Chow, we have that many shares. Good. So we've dealt with that. Now, VMAR, I added into this one again. You never really know how these ones are really gonna go with the small cap gappers, or what I mean by these ones, but the trend is what I like right now. There's a lot of indecision into the highs. 2 candles have closed as doji candle. Well, 1 candle closes as a doji candle. This current one, which has another, I want to say 30 seconds left, also doji at the moment, but it's got higher highs and higher lows relative to the prior candle. So I added into the highs, and that is obviously risky, but the highs are only highs when you're trading at them. Then when you clear them, nobody's ever thinking, oh, you shouldn't have added at that level. So let's see what this one has to offer now as this candle comes to a close. We've got another 10 seconds left on this 5-minute candle into $1.20 on VMAR. I got 18, so we're not really that much in the money. A high of the day is 125. Looking for continuation. There's 21s. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher. No continuation as of yet on this current candle. Prior bar. Now, here are the details on the prior bar. Low is 13, high is 25. On VMAR 5-minute chart, prior bar is 25, high 13, area low. Keeping my eye on this one. Let's see if we can get another possible add or another continuation into the mid-20s. It's looking top heavy at this level. I don't mind defending into 105 where I see the volume, where the 10 EMA on the 5 is, but we're gonna have to get small share size so we don't find ourselves substantially out of the money. CHOW coming into my area there. Let's wet the beak at 10s and see what we can get on that one. How about ALDX? Been doing nothing here on ALDX. I'm starting to lament this trade because I was thinking about building the position on a slower mover, which ADLX is, but it's not really showing any higher highs here, so that's concerning me a little bit. So that's my focus right now, keeping an eye on TLRY, of course, as that one still holds 13, but not making any higher highs. And then VMAR is where I'm really trying to focus the most, because this one has the potential to really rocket up into that $1.50. We could even see 2. But we're going to have to remove these pesky short sellers that are keeping us down here at around the 1/5 to $1/4. This current candle still has a higher low, but does have a lower high. So we're still holding trend, but we're not exactly getting that rocket ship price action to the high side over here, and that obviously concerns me a little bit. VOR is the one that I wanted to mention, but I just wanted to deal with these trades first. Wider spread. Right away, I can see it's a 9-penny spread, trading at $15 on the ask with a 15.34 high. It's dropping back down now, though, below 15. So let's see what we can set up on this one. 14.50 is where I'd get in. 10 EMA on the 5 is around 14.50, and also that was the prior high of day at the 11.05 candle, which ended up dropping. I'm going to go ahead and set up something here at VOR. I'm going to go 14.60 so I can front run the level, okay? Because maybe other people see it as well, and it gets to be a crowded trade. So we're going to look to defend this breakout level over here on VOR. It's not a big 9% and change. What do you got, Joey?
Yeah, good luck, guys. All right, let's pull up some NVDA. I know a lot of individuals in the chat talking about, hey, it looks like the neckline can be broken. But look at these 5-minute candle prints, guys. A lot of buying pressure stepping in. I'm not saying it's going to go on blast mode. I think it's important to correlate what the daily's up to. And if you ask yourself, hey, are we in breakout zone? I'm going to have to say no. It doesn't mean we can't recover and climb to the highs, but at the end of the day, you want to correlate certain things. If you open up at the top end of a range, then by all means, yeah, we can classify that as a breakout zone. But let's head back over to this 5-minute. If you are thinking short, wait until you get to the higher end, obviously. A Lots of pressure up in here. You post up at a specific level. If it fails to construct a new high of the day, then you're set up. You look for those indecision prints. You head over to the lower time frame so you can see the detail within the PA, and then sure enough, boom. So there it is on the 1 minute inverted hammer candle. The high of it isn't breached. If you get up there, you can drastically increase your risk to reward. If not, if you play the break of the 1 minute candle, you can still have a solid risk to reward. So 177, you have to risk 30-40 cents. You don't want to go right there, so 40 cents. And then sure enough, you can get a nice 2-to-1 on the way down. Same thing across the board, right? Just setting yourself up in key zones. One thing to note is that for some time when I was trading at the beginning, I remember I really lost my ish. And one day the SPY was really choppy. I didn't experience chop before. And I kept trying to buy a breakout. It's not that I didn't. I just didn't know what I was doing. And I kept trying to buy a breakout. And then you just learn from it. So you'll get caught in chop. But the closer you can get to lower ends of the ranges or extreme highs and extreme lows, drastically increases your risk to reward. It's the exact same thing here, right? You get this indecision print at that high, and then you get a nice move. As soon as it comes back to your break even, you get out, let price action do its thing, phase a lot of traders out, chop them up, do whatever it is, and then it makes an additional move lower. But you see what I'm getting at here, guys? Indecision print at the high, indecision print at the high. They're not breached until later on in the session. This one has yet to be breached, and sure enough, you get a nice move to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at. That's just from a day-to-day standpoint, kind of my game planning and what I just prep for myself to get involved with. So just paying attention to the detail, I think, is extremely important. As for the TQs, guys, same thing. It's looking a lot like NVDA, buying pressure south of VWAP. SPY relatively weaker, so keep an eye out on that. So still buying pressure there. So you might get somewhat of a rebound. Keep your eyes out. Keep that risk measures tight. You are at the low of the day. If it breaks those candles, then you can just get out immediately as soon as a new low of the day is established. But guys, you know what time it is.
What time is it?
We do it every single day. I don't have to tell you what it is. It's time to look at the best performing sectors of the session and see what we got going on. Not very much green going on here, Sharif, today. All right, communications. 0.02%. So holding on by a thread there, guys, green. The rest in the red. Consumer staples, 0.04%. Consumer discretionary, you're down 0.1%. And as for the utilities, you're down 0.75%. Healthcare sector, you're down 1.6%. And the energy sector, you're down 2.6%. Not good stuff. Now let's head over to the daily. You can see that all of these major averages are trading in the red. And then sure enough, if we go over to the weekly, the only positive one here is going to be the Dow Jones, 0.9%. The Nasdaq taking it, I'm not even going to say this is a knockout blow, down 2.43% in the Nasdaq, Sharif. We'll head over to the calendar. A lot of economic data going on today. Sharif and Brendo brought that to you. Same with Obi and Sean as well, too. So thank you guys very much for that. As for earnings, we don't got too much going on. Lennar after the bell, I believe. Yeah, so that's going to be after the bell on Lennar. Let's see what we got going on Wednesday. Micron after the bell on Wednesday, Sharif. That might be a little entertaining. And as for Thursday, Nike in the morning, that's going to be a lot of fun. And so will FedEx. I think FedEx after the bell will be a pretty good one. And then Cintas, shout out to them.
Shout out. All right, guys, stopped out on VMAR. This one is halted down, got out before the halt, obviously. Not a good look, but did take out the majority of the position. But we did add here, so we did give back about 7 pennies on that latest add. A little bit more, actually, because we added at 7, then we added at 2s. And so we stopped out 98. So I hold true to the plan. We stop out south of the dollar. It is halted down now, and quite frankly, it's below the 10 EMA on the 5. The only saving grace for this one, volume weighted average price, I believe is at 89 to about 89.5 pennies. We're going to see how this one does. But I got back into TLRY because I definitely liked what I saw. Just give me a second over here. Where is that? We got in at 5s. We sweat the beak there into the high. The spread is opening up on TLRY, and I don't really know what's going on with that 4-penny spread on a name that's done about almost 22 million shares. So a bit of a bamboozler is TLRY. ALDX right back up into my entry point at 521. It's holding trend. I did add down here, so I've got some good shares here on ALDX. Looking for trend continuation above that 5.25 into 528. That's the high of the day right now on ALDX, but it's VOR's world, and we're all just living in it, man. Look at that. It's almost $1 removed from my dip trade. It's still super spready. I thought it was going to come back in and test that 1460 area. It did not. It got into a new high a day of 1540, I believe. Why is that not updating? Oh, because I didn't put it on the side chart. Oh, that's why. VOR. So VOR up into about 13 2/3%. I don't want to punch into this one based on how it's trading at the moment. It's too spready for me to punch in at the highs. I have to catch it off a key technical level if I'm going to trade this very, very spready stock. Right now, it's 13 pennies spread. It doesn't done too much in the way of volume, about 1 3/4 million shares. I also have to manage my trade here on Chow, as this one is coming back into VWAP. It's found a lot of support at VWAP before into that 104 area, but if it loses 102, I've already put my stop on CHOW. We'll get out of this one and we'll give back a little bit, as we did add into 106s. So we're about a couple of pennies out of the money. VMAR halted for the individual asking. Exact time 11:44:27. So the earliest it will be open is 11:49:27. It's 48 something right now. I'll tell you exactly, it's almost 49. It just turned 49, so we have about 27 seconds left on this one with the tap. The theoretical auction price showing 94 pennies. 94 pennies is a little bit above the volume weighted average price, but it's below the halt level, which is at 97. So we've got to keep a good eye out on that one. So watching TLRY, watching Chow. For the moment, I'm not going to trade VMAR, but hoping here that I can work my way into VOR, as this one may come back down into that 1480.15 right now. So, but it just keeps going up and up and up. VOR at the high of the day. There's a VMAR. It's unhalted now. It's open. Let's see if it holds VWAP. It's below the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. VWAP is about to get lost. It's lost it for the moment on a wick basis. Does it continue to bleed its own blood? 79 pennies, Joey. That's limit down. See that red rectangle on my, okay, it's 76 pennies now because it keeps developing. The price action develops, right? 76 pennies, limit down, but it's catching a bid right back above VWAP into 95, but the sellers step in at that halt level to bring it right back down. Be careful with VMAR here, man. It felt like it was the one at that $1.25, and then quick as you freaking like, it loses that dollar. Trying to regain it right now, working into 95 pennies, but encountering some selling. How are my other trades doing? Let's take a look here at CHOW, currently still holding the volume weighted average price at 106s. ALDX curling right back up into that $0.25 area. We'll have beak wetters hopefully soon. And TLRY, I keep getting out of this, but it keeps holding 13. So, I mean, at some point, I'm just going to have to realize that and then hold the position. So, TLRY still holding 13, putting in many, many low highs, but many, many higher lows. It is a compression pattern galore right now on TLRY. So that's my look. Let's go back now to VMAR because it looks like it might be trying to reclaim that dollar into 97 pennies. Pardon me, there's 96s, up 151%. Let's see if this one can work its way back above the dollar. I got to get out of Chow. Chow's losing the bid there. It's below VWAP. We're going to cancel. We're going to flatten out there on Chow so I can focus on others. VMAR right back into that dollar. Does it have the juice to get back above that double top that we put in earlier at the buck? Not quite yet, it doesn't, but held VWAP on a closing basis, not on a strike basis. It did obviously wick below that. Be on the lookout here. VMAR may not be done as it works back into that dollar. I'm going to have to wait until that dollar clears so that we can use it as an area of support. For now, I'm going to stay clear of this one, but definitely in focus for me. VOR continues to put in higher lows, man. But it's just, I can't catch this one at the right area. Maybe we can give this one an opportunity towards prior bar low. Prior bar low takes us into the teens. Let's set up something here at the teens, and then if it loses 15, then we won't be risking all that much. That's my look right now, Joey. We're still holding some TLRY here. We're still holding ALDX and looking at working into VOR.
All right, nice work, man. Anything for you, my friend Eduardo. Let's take a look at it. SMCI, you want to see that $32 call option. It's 46 bucks right there, so it's nothing substantial. But I mean, you're not going to be paying any form of a premium. But the thing is, though, you need that to trade above $32 to even make any money off of that. So keep that in mind, guys. You're at 31.28, and look at the PA from a daily. Do you think that this is going to break up all the way up here? If you ask me, no. Look at the momentum to the downside. So if you're looking to buy some call options, just try to find something that has been strong or in a steady uptrend, and that's just going to help put a little probability in your favor, opposed to just throwing up a prayer. You see that full court shot that Steph Curry put up the other day was absolutely insane. I don't know, this guy has a gift from the gods themselves, but aside from that, what you want to do is just put trading in your favor, right? And this isn't, like, I don't think you're going to go long here. I think we break down and maybe head into that next level, which would be approximately 27.50 or something along those lines. So, I mean, you can go for it. It's not going to cost you much. It's going to cost you $50. It's a lottery ticket, and if it does work out, then by all means, rock and roll on that front, guys. As for the overall market, you can see you did get a pop in the TQs and on the SPY off of those indecision print off the lows, but you head right into the volume weighted average price, and then you start rejecting. Same thing with Tesla. You attempt to put in a new high right there, guys, and then sure enough, now you're starting to form that 5-minute indecision print. I'm going to head back over to SMR and see what we got going on. Oh, man. So this is what I'm talking about. You got this nice move, but then as soon as it broke through the lower end of that range, and that's why I was talking to a guy from work, literally his name, it's weird that I have to say that now because people are probably thinking that I'm talking to somebody here. That's not the case. His name is a guy from work. So I said, once that breaks 18, get out of Dodge and let the selling pressure kind of cool off, and then you can look to get involved in if you really like the stock. We'll head over, we'll zoom out a little bit actually, because I want to just look at it from a percentage metric on how much we're actually down from the previous high. So we're at 57.75. You get a 71% haircut. Not fun whatsoever. So keep an eye out on SMR. But it's been on some solid moves, right? $11 all the way up there. So you get 415%, which is a pretty good move. So yeah, other than that, guys, Netflix starting to put some indecision prints off of those highs. It's been a solid session for me. So I'm going to be looking for some primetime opportunities. It's going to only be A+ setups, and we're going to be looking for that chop and flow and those indecision prints at extreme highs and extreme lows. And I think that's going to set us up really nice for a couple more trades, but it's been a pretty good one. 2 for 2 on SMR, 1 for 1 on TSLL, and APLD is the only loser of the day. And there goes Netflix, man, starting to climb higher as the market was pulling back in. It decides to put in a new high of the day. We'll head over to the daily. I know a lot of people were talking about this yesterday, and not too much love for the flakes here, but there it is, still down 29.5%.
All right, guys, still holding here VMAR as this one got back above. Let's see if we can work our way into the high single digits, showing 101 as resistance. Now, it's got a higher low, but that topping tail candle that just closed, I don't know how I feel about this. That means aggressive selling into that level. Elastic is still trying to hold that dollar area there. There's a price spike up. No prints though, as it did not cross. Looking for continuation into 6, 7. Let's see if we get it. We're packing the patience over here, but there goes TLRY, man, taking out all my prints into the 20s. So TLRY's breaking trend, guys. TLRY is breaking trend right now. It just made substantially higher highs. Let's see if it can get back into that third of a dollar. TLRY just looks like it broke trend. Maybe it's a fake out. Yeah, it does feel like a fake out though, but I got a bunch of prints on it nonetheless. VMAR, back to this one, focusing on this one, looking for that move above a buck. I think the prior bar high was 108. So looking here, 105 showing up on the bid, but a lot of thick selling, man. Oh my goodness. We got to get above that dollar by a substantial amount really to kind of put some distance between some technical levels in ourselves. But I did say thick. I know you like that. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on, guys. VMAR. We're just going back and cycling through the same thing. I'm not really looking at anything else other than the ones that I'm trading now. I got a lot going on there, and they're moving quite aggressively. So I'm sorry if I haven't been able to respond in the chat. I'm not really looking at the chat at the moment as I'm trying to get into VOR. I'm trying to take this VMAR back close to the highs, and we stopped at a chow, obviously, building a position here on ALDX and taking prints to the high side on TLRY. But I'd like to add more if I can. Oh, we have a substantial amount here on TLRY, actually, quite frankly, so happy about that. Let's go ahead and take that print. VOR, I just saw we got into, so we did get that dip trade now. It's gonna have to hold above that 10 EMA on the 5, which is at 1489. Now, I don't mind working my way into VOR. How many shares did we get into VOR? Okay, good. So we didn't get too many too quickly. What is our price? Good, so we'll wait over here to defend 15, and then we're also gonna wait a little bit below that in the low 90s to defend that 10 EMA on the 5. So that's what I'm doing right now on VOR. Let's go back to VMAR, as this one still has higher lows but lower highs relative to the prior topping tail candle. So the shorts still aggressively selling in the low $1. How about over here? No, I don't really care about this one. TLRY still holding on this, looking for the continuation above that $0.25. That 26 print still hasn't filled. That means it hasn't been up there quite yet. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. Guys, let's go back to VOR. So we did get the fill there at 14s into 23s a go. So probably behooves me to take some profits here. And then we'll also look for the high 20s, and we'll also look for the mid 30s in case we do get a nice price spike up. I'm gonna have resting orders in order to take some prints there. But I do have a contingency plan, obviously, with that 15 and 10 EMA defend. Looking for a nice move up. It's showing me 26s now, but the spread is wide as it's been basically all day on VOR with 26 on the ask, 18 on the bid on that bad boy there. How we doing here on VMAR? Still suffering from the same short seller who's been keeping us down below that 105 area. Again, this current candle has higher lows but lower highs. This candle is going to close in about a minute or so, and then it's going to close right at 12 o'clock, 11:59. Showing right now on the time and sales. Let's see if the new 5-minute candle brings in some new buyers, Joey. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. Into 4 positions, all small cap gappers, trying to manage all of these. TLRY moving back into the $0.25. There we go. Now we get the print. We got shares on here, Joey. Let's go ahead and wet the beak there, and we're going to take some prints now into 35 on TLRY. It's breaking trend, it feels like right now on TLRY. Be careful. 1349 high of the day. This current candle, I believe, has a $0.25, maybe a little bit higher candle high there. How we doing over here? Let's bring it back to VMAR. We just dropped below the dollar, but got right back up into that 103, but no continuation. Again, above that 105 area as the short seller still looking at keeping this bad boy down and dampening everybody's long party. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one, Joey, looking for a continuation to the high single digits.
Nice work, guys. And you too. Nice work, Sharif. I don't know why I said guys, but anyways, obviously all you as well too. Hopefully everyone's having a fantastic day. All right, let's see what we were talking about earlier. See, buying pressure, buying pressure. Buying pressure, buying pressure, buying pressure. Oh, yep, you guessed it, buying pressure. You want to see a little bit more? Okay, there's AMD. What's Robinhood been up to? Oh, a little bit of buying pressure at the volume weighted average price. Who would have guessed? But anyways, no, in all seriousness, guys, there it is. The TQ is a nice steady uptrend, forming that bull flag right here, breaks out. Now heading towards this previous high of the day. So that's a key pivot at 481.76. And Netflix is just off the races, going oppo right now. We were looking at this not too long ago, a bounce off of these support levels. So a solid look right there. And someone asked me about, hey, Joe, what's up with the market? Why is it doing these things? I like to call this top chop. Why? Because I'm going to show you right now. It's just my own little word that I made up for it as I thought about it, to be honest with you. But there it is. I mean, it makes a lot of sense if you ask me. Like, we're near the top, Sharif, and we're not doing too much. We're just consolidating. We're forming a range. And you can see that we're only a couple percentage points off of the previous high, 4.3%. That's nothing substantial. So you can see that we're starting to form somewhat of a toppy range right here. So that's why I came up with the top chop. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at, guys. A lot of moving sideways. Sell the top end of the range, buy the lower end of the range, whether you're going short or long, and leave a little bit of a runner just in case you do get that breakout, right? So, I mean, if you're thinking to go short, wait for it to come into that level. Use the prior highs as you're out, and the same thing with the lows. If you're looking to go long, use the lows as you're out, and then sure enough, once it heads to your trigger or you put a limit out, then just pay attention and just obviously keep to those rules, and sure enough, you'll be off on your merry way. If there's anything specific that you guys want to go over, I'm going to pull up the options chain right now and see what we have on NVDA. If there's any substantial supply on some of these strike prices, we know that Friday's going to be triple witching, 81,500 contracts at that $180 strike price. I think that's a key level. What was our high of the day on this? 177. What was yesterday's high of the day? So that might come into play. So around 178, 179. So we haven't got there. Yeah, I know I might have to there. I don't even know how to pronounce your name, to be honest with you. Ithakra. So there it is, man. Tesla being a beast on today's session, Sharif, heading right up to 479.62. So this is a big time move. I want to look at this from a daily. I was personally thinking that we were going to make a new high. There it is. I thought we were going to make a new high up in here, but the market had other plans. So essentially what I'm thinking happened is, all right, we don't have enough liquidity. We're not happy with this current price. Let's absorb some more. We get that pullback, guys. So if you go from this previous pivot to where this low was, you get a 20% pullback. But then boom, off to the races, and you get that nice move, 25% off of that previous low to where we're currently trading at. And how far are we off of that previous all-time high? Not much at all. We're going to call it 190 flat. It's around 189 something. So it's 1 day of a gap up price. Of a gap up session, and you're at an all-time high here in Tesla. I know we were talking about some Amazon. The boys were Obi and Sean and everybody at the desk this morning. I think this is a good buy. You start real slow. If you happen to get anything around 200, guess what? I think you buy a little bit more here in Amazon. AWS is a beast.
Should we do it? No problem, no problem. I'm ready whenever you need, Assassino. You'd let me know. All right, guys, we're holding here on VOR. It is taking out the high of the day, 1550. What do we get on VOR? We got 14, so we're trying to ride trend. Next beak wetter for me on this one, 69er. But we got to tell you about concussions, guys, right? Concussions demand fast solutions. New York Stock Exchange listed, NYSE listed, Origenics trading under ticker OGEN. They're developing one designed to reach the brain quickly and non-invasively. You guys can learn more about this by scheduling a meeting today. Shout out to the great folks there at Origenics, OGEN, under the ticker OGEN on the New York Stock Exchange. All right, guys, so VOR at day's highs, it's showing 49.50. Actually, I just saw on the time and sales. Let's see if this one can continue riding trend to the high side. How's VMAR doing? VMAR, we have 103. It's showing me 102s. I'm looking for a higher low trend and a break through prior bar high. Prior bar high is 104. Here's a new 5-minute candle that just opened up. Let's see what this one's got to offer. I'm looking to stop out in the mid-90s. If this one loses the bid, I'm looking for VMAR possibly to hold the 10 EMA, which it's been holding above, and that dollar, and to move into the mid-teens. Hopefully I don't get bamboozled on this one. Keeping an eye as well, of course, on ALDX, much smaller of a position, much slower of a mover, but trying to build up a position nonetheless. TLRY continues to put in prints here in the fifth to $0.25. But it's not really rocketing above the $0.25 like I thought it would, but it is holding the 10 moving average on the 5, so that's really all I need. We've been in and out of TLRY many times on the day. I just got stopped out of VMA. Oh, that sucks. VMAR, just got stopped out of that. That one will be my biggest loser on the day, as we did add aggressively into this level over here. I was liking the trend of higher lows, but the bamboozlement is what it is. Anyway, it drops down into holding into the volume weighted average price. Let's see if it moves back up. I'm likely not going to trade this because it's too choppy. So it's on Uncle Sheriff shit list now right now. So we're going to leave that one alone. VOR though, coming back into that, that's a new area high, 1554 on VOR. Looking to get more into this one, man. We're going to have to look for dips into prior bar low. Prior bar low takes us, I believe, into 1522. We'll look to front run that one so we can get some shareage there. How else are we doing over here? TLRY. TLRY now, the 10 EMA on the 5 is substantially higher than 13, so we can't put any 13 dip trades anymore. We're going to have to put them in the 13-12s, 13, mid-teens, in and around that level, because that's where it's been respecting, man. It's been respecting the 10 moving average on the 5-minute chart, which I'm absolutely fine with. Let's take a look there. This is kind of what I mean. Has a tendency to wick below it, but is able to kind of regain the level quite quickly. And we do have a good amount of room between where we're currently topping out at about 30 pennies and the $0.50. That is the high of the day on TLRY. So good look there. Let's take an opportunity now, though, possibly to get more in to VOR, because VOR coming right back down into that $0.33. I'd like to pick up some a little bit higher than prior bar low. Prior bar low, as I mentioned, is 22, so maybe we can kind of put in a dip trade there. We'll go 25s, see if we can get something in and around that level. What do you got, Joey?
I can't believe what I'm looking at right now, to be honest with you.
What happened, brother?
So Chef Joe's like, hey man, we got someone's hitting every possible exchange, so they're sweeping right now. Tesla, 800 calls, I think he said. So it's just like when you have such a large order, a sweep in options terms is essentially like, hey, I'll take it from anywhere I get it. So sweeping the exchanges. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll have to pull up and take a look at this. But when I did, I see something very interesting. $880. So in 3 months from now, what are we trading at? In 3 months from now, guys, this contract right now is worth $300. Like what in the days? From 500 now, $800 lever, so March. Sorry, I wasn't trying to make my trades so obvious. I didn't even know what you said. Oh, was that you? Oh, okay, I get what I get what you're getting. You sly dog. This is very interesting. I don't know, Chef Joe. I want to know your opinion on this, and thank you for bringing this. Woke me up a little bit here. I want to know your opinion on this. 880, 870. You're collecting $320. I mean, well, no. That's not what I'm implying in 3 months. That's not what I'm getting at. Anything can happen. Somebody knows something, but I can't help to think that this stock is not going to almost double in the span of 90 days. If it does, something substantial has to be happening. So if you're a writer, you write these all day, every single day. Exactly, Showtime. Exactly what I'm getting at. Sell those calls all day. MF Dangerous is March 20th. So literally, it's 94 days. So March 20th, exactly, Showtime. Exactly what I was getting at is you write those hand over fist. If you have the ability to do so, then that is some nice premium that you can collect on a stock that I don't think is going to almost double in a span of 90 days. If something happens, that's insane, right? But there's nothing we can do about that. But as for that $3 mark, man, oh man, write that as much as you possibly can, in my opinion. I might even set up some spreads on this, to be honest with you. Let's do it right now. You know why? Because we can, and we can have the ability to do so. Guys, let's set up our strategy builder. Thank you, Assassino, for that bang. I just needed a little bit more love. I needed some more excitement. I was telling Mike P, I put on my trades today. I could care less to take anything else, but what we can do is set up trades for the future. Also, I got something pretty cool for you guys coming up. It may or may not be added to Sharif's morning note. We're going to see. I'm going to talk to him about it, see if he likes it. It's something that you can use every single day, and that's what trading is. It's pattern recognition, the ability to repeat something over and over again. And I'm just kind of prolonging me getting into this bull call spread because I want to build it up, right? So yeah, exactly, MF Dangerous. There's a lot going on right here. And you can see that I get really excited about this stuff. As for the equity front, guys, it's been a solid day. I'm happy with this trading. We're going to be patient. We're going to look at other things. But in the meantime, you have the option to like and subscribe. This trade has unlimited upside. Let's talk some options and build our bear call spread here, guys. So let's start up with our strategy builder. Bang, we're off to a good start already. And we're going to head over to the vertical spread. Right. Yes, that's correct, a vertical spread. But we are going to make it an inverse. And there it is. We want to be selling these here. And yeah, okay. So that's the thing, right? Like if you have the ability to write naked, then by all means. But at this point, well, I mean, I didn't mean like, and yeah, well, you can mean whatever you want. You gotta have fun with it, right? So there it is, right, guys? So you can collect approximately $57 on a $30 spread. Now, listen, your risk to reward is going to be drastically skewed, but what we are going to be doing here is taking a look at our probability of profit. Okay, so this is just going to be one. That's it. Now you're going to say, Joe. In what world does it make sense for me to risk $2,923? That's crazy. To make $46. You're gonna be like, Joe, there's zero logic.
So what's the answer to that, Joey?
But what if I told you that you
TLRY's breaking out?
What if you have a 98% chance that you're going to make that $50? And I think there's a good opportunity. I mean, it doesn't mean you're going to collect all of the premium, but I think you have the ability to collect the majority of it. Because in my opinion, Tesla's not going to climb up to $870 by March 2026. Talk to him about TLRY.
Yeah, well, it's breaking out, Joseph Options. So there it is. I'm going to just do it. There goes TLRY. There into 1349. We are at the high of the day. This monster is up bigly, 23.5%. But I'm looking at MSOX. They're moving in tandem, guys. So at least TLRY is with the leveraged ETF. What a fantastic move up here for TLRY. What do we got on, man? We got 05s on this beast, and we had some good shares. So not taking baby on TLRY today. Let's see if we get that continuation separately over here. VOR is displeasing me, but I knew that would happen given the spread. We're trying to get more here at 23s across substantially, man. It went into 14s, but I didn't get to fill, and right back up into the high 30s, low 40s it goes. So VOR, we're nicely in the money on it, but we wanted to get a little bit more, and we did not. So that is the situation. Now, did we get any more on a dip trades on ALDX? The answer to that is no. And I'm starting to rethink this ALDX, build a position into the high. I don't think it's completely wrong because it's so much higher than VWAP that, you know, to me feels like really the the bulls are still quite in control on ALDX. So it's about really picking off the money fills. And I think the money fills are just south of $10. I did have a 9 order waiting there for a while, but it really hasn't printed too many prints below that level. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out on that. Separately, okay, let's go back to VOR now, as this one did come back down. It has to hold 15. Otherwise, we'll have no qualms with this one. So what do we have on VOR? We got 21s now, having added there. So let's go ahead and post some to the high side if we can. Let's see if we get a bit of a bid. There it goes into the $0.25. Looking for a little bit more, though. We need prints above that $0.25 to get some fills. So that's what I'm looking at there. AMCI, I see you guys are talking about that one's reawakening in the chat. So we're going to take off Chow and we're going to put back AMCI. I see that one is working into 14. The reason I took it off my side chart is because it lost VWAP. But hey, sometimes they reclaim them, and this is one of those cases. So there's AMCI right there, still below 1504 high, but a nice recovery off 11 nonetheless. There was some support there in the pre-market at around $11, but I wasn't going to be punching in south of the volume weighted average price. In any event, local area high is 1430. We get above 1430, there's a really good chance we can squeeze into that 1504 high and make new ones. So be on the lookout here. Good call out by you guys in the chat. AMCI should be in focus for us now as it's reawakened, trading back above the 10 EMA, trading back above VWAP, and really looking at testing that HOD. VOR is coming down against me, though, so we did add into this one, and we're going to have to be careful here because $15 is looking like it's going to get lost here as this one does drop into the 10 EMA on the 5. If it doesn't hold 15, we'll stop out for the last remaining amount. How's that trade on TLRY doing? Still no prints, though, above 49. That is the high of the day. So take the opportunity to ride trend here on TLRY, as this one is showing me a 10 EMA on the 5 at a 1320. So 1320, 13 low 20s could be an ad spot here to ride the higher low trend on TLRY. If you don't want to trade TLRY, there's others. There's MSOX, MSOS, and a plethora of other marijuana-related stocks. So a quick Google search will get you into that. But when things slow down, I can show you my marijuana watch list, which, to be quite honest with you, I've cut down substantially since the pandemic because, well, we know the weed names really haven't had much of a go at it lately. So that is my focus right now. No Neil's lesson of the day, obviously, as he is off on the day. But VOR just lost 15, Joey. I'm going to have to flatten that out. So we'll give back a little bit here on VOR, as I did feel like I had a good trade. But hey, we added at an aggressive spot into the highs, and that is the cost of doing business. So we're going to keep an eye out on that one. If it sets up a bit better, possibly at 1450. I was thinking maybe 1475 to 1450 could get back into that one. But for now, we're going to steer clear, focus on TLRY, focus on AMCI as that one's reawakened, and we'll be looking to execute some trades on that, my man.
Nice work. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great points coming in here. I like what MF Dangerous was saying. He's like, Joe, you may as well sell those 355s and collect $800. I think it's substantially less risky than writing these 800 calls, right? I mean, $880 calls. So that's a very valid point, and thank you for pointing that out. And Adam Deleuze, to what you were saying, yeah, it's tough, right? And one thing that I'm going to say here is that maybe the bear call spread isn't necessarily the way to go on that trade. And the more that we look at it, it confirms that, right? It just doesn't make sense. But if you have the ability and the cash on hand to write those, I think there's a good opportunity that can work out. But this is a substantially better play, right? This is a beautiful play. You sell those cash secured puts at 355, you're collecting almost $1,000. That's a really good point, and I'm glad that you pointed that out there, MF Dangerous. That's what we do, man. We brainstorm and we come up with better ideas, and thank you all for just kind of contributing, because what I personally may not see, you guys see, and we can point those things out, and then that's how we just modify our trading system. So that's the beauty about every single one of you. MF, thank you for that. KT, thank you for that as well, too. And also Chef Joe, who brought the whole Tesla to us. Yeah, I'm finding it hard to do the spread with the risk you have to put on. Yeah, it's extremely difficult, right? And I think when you're writing these spreads, you don't want to go as far out. I think a month is okay if you're just looking to collect a couple $100 or some passive income on something that has higher probability, I should say, and go with the bull puts. In my opinion, they're significantly more safer. I've taken my largest losses on calls in together, whether it be short calls or long calls. Yeah, and I told you guys before that my IBIT contracts, that was the largest loss that I've ever taken in options, equity trading, whatever, other than my unrealized. But that's long-term aside from that. So yeah, thank you all, guys, and fantastic outputs there, and obviously your opinions, because it changed a lot. So as for the trading right now, SMR, a potential bounce, you can see the downtrend is still fully intact here, so we're going to keep an eye out on this. Boom, this is still, but this 5-minute print, all right, we may as well do it, right? What else are we here for, Sharif?
Yes, sir.
If we're not here to trade and take the setups that we potentially see here on the intraday session. So I'm not going to put on as much size. We'll risk a little bit of what we have on the day. We're going to give it 10 cents all the way up to 1670s. If it cracks that 5-minute candle low, which is approximately at 72, I might get out a little prematurely, but that's fine. So let's get involved, small size right off the get. We're going to wait for 75. Just because we still want to stick to our systems, just in case, but let's get a little bit of action, Jackson, right here. We're posted up at 75s. If we get that fill, then we're going to be looking for that bounce up to 85s, which will put us at approximately, no, not even, at 80, because we're going to give it 5 cents of risk at 1670. I do like that 5-minute print right there on SMR. Now, as for the overall market, you can see the SPY starting to put an indecision print right at the volume-weighted average price as well, too, constructing a lower high once again. So this is going to be the third lower high of the day. Let's mark this out. Downtrend working out, guys. If it breaks that previous pivot high and you're thinking short the overall market, what do? You get out. You let it cool off. You let it squeeze whatever it's going to squeeze, and then you reassess your situation and look for an additional entry. But that's what we got going on. If it works once and if it worked twice, let's try it a third time, because you know what they say. Third time is typically a charm.
I like how yeah, I like that. You put that caveat in there. Yeah. Typically a charm. I feel that, man. Nothing's guaranteed in this life, let alone trading. Exactly. For certain. So I definitely agree with that sentiment. Joey Pets, another breakout trade on this one. Big halter to the high side. It looks like it's putting in a bit of a consolidation now with a 383 high. Let's see if it can hold that $0.50. We're going to work our way into this one and look for that $0.50 hold. VWAP is a little bit below the $0.50. I want to say 47s, 48s as it comes back down now into the 60s. Let's see if we can get a nice price spike up into the 70s and wet the beak on some profits over here. Let's see what we can get on PETS. Thank you, KC526, for calling this out. I know others were calling it out as well. But PETS, nice mover on the day, did get a bit of a price spike right at 12 o'clock, rocketing this one above 3.5, 383 high a day as we kind of just move a little bit sideways on this bad boy. But TLRY just came back down into the 10 EMA again, and it's losing the 10 EMA now. And this is a 2-bar pullback right now on TLRY. So it just breached prior bar low, and it's done that before, to be fair. It's wicked through the 10 EMA on the 5. What do we have here on TLRY? We have 1305. Good. And we still have some sharage left. So what I'm going to do is a break of 13 ends the trade for me. And then if I need to get back in, I'll get back in. So we're going to throw in a 13 stop there. And if it loses trend and breaks through 13, which just happens coincidentally to be the 20 EMA on the 5. We're going to get out of that point. And then we'll put some profit takers at the $0.25 in case it does get a price spike up into that level. So keeping an eye there. Separately, I was kind of really sad about being pushed out of VOR below $15 as it regained trend pretty quickly there. What I'm waiting is for prior bar high. Prior bar high is 15.25. So if it makes a move above prior bar high, we're going to get in on this one. So we're going to go 26s. It's already making the move there. So let's go right back into this bad boy. And there we go. Now let's put in some profit takers on this one. I think this is riding trend nicely. Let's see if we can get a nice move into the $0.50. It is a 54 penny high of day. So by definition, we're going to have to print above that to get a new high of day. We're going to have to print above the $0.50. So good breakout right now, showing me 40s. Where do we get in on VOR? We got in 30s, so let's see for that continuation. There we go into 45s, but the spread is wide on this one, so it's going to have to cross for me to get the print. But I'm seeing Pets take out all my orders. What a move by Pets, and we added good size into this one. There goes Pets, 392 high. We got 66s on. We're wetting the beak here into the high 80s. Let's go ahead and post something into the 90s in case this one continues into that $4 area. PETS, good midday mover, but watch now for a possible topping tail candle. It did it before. Look at the candle there at 12.05. It did almost the exact same thing. So my entry on Pets is 66s. Let's go ahead and take out more here in the 80s. And what we're going to do is we're going to give this one to 60. If it loses 60, it loses me as a trader. But there goes VOR taking out all my orders as well. So we get back into this one right into the nick of time, and we take out the high of the freaking day. Now we're setting up at 65, 59 showing up on the bid. And now we're going to set up, how many shares do I have? Oh, we've got plenty. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got to take out something over here. I'm going to be carrying that many shares, Assassino. It's dangerous. So there we go. Now we're going to post at 65 and 69, and we're going to post some in the 70s as well. We're holding shares on this one, trying to make it back as we got forced out of that one. That was going to give me nightmares, baby. So VOR right back into the $0.50, defending 15, but not without bamboozlement. That's the cost of doing business, man. Especially in the world of small cap trading where there is plenty of bamboozlement. In case you're wondering why, it doesn't take a whole lot of money, relatively speaking, of course. I'm not talking about you and myself, or you and myself. You guys and myself, but yeah, so if you have a relatively large account, you can definitely move these ones and bamboozle the market. That's why they do what they do. So that's what we're looking at, Joey. We're taking breakouts right now on PETS and VOR. PETS right back into that low 80s area, but I have posted beak wetters now into the mid and low 90s. And if it breaks 60, which will risk about 5 pennies on the last remaining amount, we'll get stopped out there. So good continuation there. And then let's not forget TLRY. TLRY holding the 10 EMA doji candle that just closed. This current candle has a higher low and is trading back above the 10 exponential moving average. So this could be another add opportunity here if you're looking for more shareage on TLRY at this level. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. VMAR, that hot garbage that I took off my screen because I'm red on it and it's my biggest loser on the day, is about to take out 105. So if that 105 level goes, I want to say 105 to about 109, maybe even 110. If that level goes, which has been a very, very staunchy area of resistance, take out and look at all these rejections, and it goes back earlier as well. This could be a nice breakout trade, but you're not going to catch me trying to time this one. I don't have the proper read on this bad boy here. So show them what you're looking at, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you're ready, Assassino. So yeah, I mean, I got out accidentally right there. I was putting in my stop and I just mixed up the order. So I mean, that worked out as I would have got stopped out. So not too bad of a move right there. As the market is breaking through some necklines, guys. Robinhood starting to head towards 118, looking like it wants to head a little bit lower, guys. A in the Qs, A in the SPY. All right, Assassino, let's rock and roll. For too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines, but that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With this limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters, discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first eval.
I gotta tell you, Joey, I don't like barriers.
No.
Only on the road, because I don't want those crazy people hitting me when I'm going a buck
no
20,
other
Joey.
barriers, though. No other barriers?
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Fastest you've ever driven on public roads.
You know what? I was never a big speeder, man. I never really liked speed like that. Yeah, no, I told you guys I got a 40 over one time headed to school.
Oh, that's almost stunt.
In an 80, yeah.
That's close to stunt.
Yeah, I got that.
So what we're talking about, guys, stunt driving, if you do 50 and over in this province, immediate roadside seizure, up to $10,000 in a fine, and you get a 30-day license suspension, and you can't appeal it. Like, it's one of the only things that you can't actually seek an appeal for in our legal system. And they've upheld it, Joey. They've upheld the legality of that.
I think the most I ever pushed my old Beamer was to like 180 maybe.
All right, that's pretty good.
170, maybe.
Maybe, eh?
Yeah, maybe. I don't even think it was that high. Honestly, I was...
Miles or kilometers? Casino wants to know. I think it's miles.
I
think it's miles. You BMW drivers are liabilities.
Hey, man, no, if anything, we're not, man. No, in all seriousness, my grandfather taught me relatively well. When I was younger, I never really lost. I remember I think I was in my 20s or something like that. I had so many points deducted. No. So, yeah, but it was from like rolling a stop sign, turning right on a red light.
Demerits.
The demerits. So I had to go to the meeting, and I just said to the lady, listen, I'm not like speeding.
Oh, you went to that one too? So did I. I had to go.
Like,
and they're like, oh, slow down. And they teach you stress tactics.
Exactly.
I remember that.
I just was smiling at her and stuff, and she's like, all right, I like you. And she's like, I'm not going to suspend your license.
This guy charmed his way through that. You know this guy charmed his way through that too.
No, man, I was never any form of troublemaker.
See, I was a big troublemaker when I was young. Big troublemaker. I was constantly in trouble in school.
No, I mean, I was in elementary school. I got in a lot of trouble with and stuff. But that's elementary school. You're young
elementary,
and
Joey.
stuff like that. But other than that, no. I was at
Sharif said, oh, wow, just 80? Shout out to Sergio. Yeah. Nah, I expected your boy Joey options. He does it live, you know. I thought, you know, he'd hit $2 or something like that.
No, man, I'm not a speed demon, man. I personally don't like going that fast. I remember when I owned my ATV, I wouldn't even go bonkers with that. I would do wheelies and stuff.
That's fun.
But yeah, I just never really had the thrill of speed.
I don't have it anymore. I had it when I was young.
When you were younger?
I think it's the stupidest thing you can do
ridiculous.
Now because it's just like, why am I going fast again?
Don't get it twisted. I would swerve through traffic. I would swerve around the corner. Yeah, whoa.
Yeah,
you know that song, right? Yeah. No, I would swerve in and out of traffic, but I was never any form of a speed.
407?
Yeah, we pushed a little bit on the 407 a couple times, but nothing crazy, man.
Nothing crazy. You heard it from the man.
Yeah.
Jacques, first time I went to Vegas, I was 22. Definitely mixed up kilometers and miles. Yeah, man. Purposely or just, you know, accidentally there, Jacques. Shout out to you, my man. Always making us chuckle. Shout out to Jacques.
That's crazy.
Go, VOR, go. We added into this one like a psycho. And now we're taking some prints to the high side over here. We just got, I believe, 67s. We're looking for continuation. It's showing me 64 now, but this one has been spready almost all day. It's a 1566 high a day, so I don't think I took out 67. That can't be true. That must be 65 then. So looking for continuation into this one. We've layered the orders. This one did push me out originally because, well, it broke through 15 where I had my stop. Now we're nicely in the money on it, and we're positive. We're up big on this one. So let's go ahead and take some more prints here. In fact, I'm still holding a bit, so I want to take out those and then lock in the profits, and then we'll let this one run if it wants to. TLRY also doing real well, but I'm focused on pets now. I've wet the beak multiple times into the highs on pets, but it is now putting in a couple of lower highs, more than a couple. So the prior candle that I'm basing everything off, that 1220 candle, that is the high of the day, 392. Subsequent candle has a lower high to the tune of, I believe, low 80s. And this candle that just opened up has a higher low, but not really doing much. I put my stop on pets just south of 60. I've got 64s on, so if it loses 60, I'm out, and we'll risk 4 more pennies on that bad boy there. But I don't want to catch the downside here to pets because it is, well, it halted up, right? So we know it's got that kind of characteristic to it. Now, the deal is, if I get stopped out south of 60, I'm going to be looking at mid-50s. I'm not going to have a dip trade ready to fill at mid-50s, but we will be looking, of course, to get back in should it be warranted. Let me take out some here. There we go. On that one. Now, how we doing on VOR? No new prints on this one. No new friends. No new friends. Into the 65s, 55 on the bid. Next profit taker for me is 69, and then 77s, and then 85. So that's what we're doing right now. We're looking for a move up on this one. It's a bit of a slower mover, so just pack your patience on VOR, but I do like the trend. The trend is very much intact. Let me make my case to you guys here on the black charts, as this one tends to show it a little bit. There it goes into another high of the day. Just pull up the black charts, Joey. And the new high of day will get taken, and there we go. We take out the prints. We take out 69. We take out 77. Now we've only got a couple of more prints to the high side. VOR is him right now. We're looking for more, though, Joey. We want to make a little bit more on this one. 1530 we've got on. Let's go ahead, set up something in the 90s on this one. We're going to go ahead and wait at 93 the last time, of course. The coveted Blue Jays won the World Series. That broke my heart, bro. I'm not even gonna remember.
I know.
That broke
it's
my heart,
devastating.
Joey.
I'm really looking forward to this season. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
See that dude that they picked up? Spent a quarter billy?
Yeah, Cease.
A quarter
yeah,
billy.
His name's like Cody Cease or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Apparently, then we're going to have some quality pitching.
Dude,
we still need bullpen, though, no?
Yeah, I think we got one guy. Poll is up, baby. All right, there we go. That's a big time poll. Make sure you guys get your
Anybody who
votes in.
votes for Jake Paul is crazy.
I mean, there's already a couple going in there. No, but look what winning does, right? Like, it just attracts so much. And if you go back to the Raptors, look what the Raptors did for the city. Just kind of everybody coming together, and just the adoption within basketball and stuff. And I think that popularity it really came in with this baseball. If you make it to the finals, it gets so many more people attracted to watch your sport, 100%. And that's why the Leafs. The poor boys, man.
If you're a good team in Toronto, you will get love almost immediate. It doesn't matter if you're playing pickleball, bro.
Immediately.
Toronto likes to support winners. You feel that? Like,
exactly.
And so I don't even think you have a problem in this sport. I mean, when I knew soccer was going to do well here because we have such a big immigrant base.
It was fun when TFC won as well too.
Yeah, remember that? That was like 10 years ago. There was Jose Altidore. There was the little magician, man. I forget his name.
It was like Sebastian something, wasn't it?
Sebastian. Oh man.
Yeah. What was his name, man? Yeah, but it starts with that or something like that. I mean, they made it to the MLS finals twice, right? They lost.
They won, man.
They lost one and then won the second one.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah.
They won. I remember Jose Altidore, and then there was a little magician, man.
What was that guy's
Someone's
name?
gonna know in the chat.
Yeah. Someone's got to know. Come on, man. Why are you guys being so quiet?
They'll know. They'll come out with it.
They're coming with it.
Sometime.
Little Sebastian Scapal. All right, guys, we've got 112 votes. Anthony Joshua leading the way.
I'm gonna find out, man.
Yeah, I forget his name. I'm surprised the chat hasn't answered that one there.
Giovinco. Giovinco, there he is right there.
Giovinco,
the atomic ant. They call him an ant.
Man, he was
That's
good,
borderline
man.
bullying, dude.
Sebastian
Because he's short. That's mean, man. Yeah. The atomic ant. No, he was a hell of a player, bro. He was a Toronto guy too, through and through. So we love that.
Yeah, they love it. I mean, athletes come here and they I think a lot of them love the city. The biggest mistake, if you ask me, would you ever do this? So we have this in the Blue Jays situation.
Yes,
so
sir.
if Bo Bichette doesn't re-sign, he's probably going to go to the Yankees or somewhere relatively good.
Is it actually for real?
Yeah.
He's not going to resign?
No, I don't know that. He hasn't re-signed.
If he goes
yet.
to the Yankees, he's going to be hated here.
Hated.
Hated.
But would you ever, regardless if you win or not, would you ever leave a team that made it to the championships or won the championship?
You're bringing up a fantastic point.
The following season.
I have to digress a little bit, but you could bring up a good point. So Liverpool, championship team, they just won the Prem, right? Yeah. And there's a saying in football, soccer, you don't break up a championship team. You don't break up a championship team. Ever. And that's what they did. They got rid of Luis Diaz, Alexander-Arnold. They allowed many people to walk away, and they brought in good talent. Ikatike, that Kirkis guy. There's a couple of others that they brought in. Big names, bro. And Alexander Isak, of course. And these are like 100 million plus. There was
big time
3 players, bro, that they spent over 100 million pounds, not dollars,
that's
man.
200 million.
Not euros,
Yeah.
And they're crapping the bed. And so there's always that philosophy. You keep the championship team to as much as you can, and then if you don't win the next year, then you can make some adjustments.
Exactly. But
so
why
Liverpool
are you,
continues to suffer because of that.
And what I was getting at there is like, Kawhi Leonard was probably the worst move of, I think, NBA history. Why would you leave a team that you just won a championship with and then go to the Lakers and trade the whole book for Paul George, and then you do essentially nothing? So what a drop ball, in my opinion. Worst case scenario, you sign for 1 more year and you try to run it back. Do you not? Like,
Absolutely.
1 more year, I'm going to see where it goes.
Question.
You just won. You have the winning mentality and you decide to leave, which is like insane.
No, I don't agree. Yes, absolutely, Roland Joe. How do you say his name? Is it Wirtz? It's not Ritz, obviously. Is it Wirtz? Because he's German, right? He cost an arm and leg as well. I remember he's the one that cost, I think, the most. He was more than Ekitike, right? He was like 135 or something like that, which I found to be insane given his position. But fact check me, Roland, because I'm pretty sure he's. But
to turn this into like trading terms, it's like I talk about it quite often. Is that if I have a winning stock one day, I'm going to go back to it the following day, regardless of what happens. I was in sync with it the previous day. Why would not try it one more time the following day, regardless if it works or not, right? I think you're just putting yourself in the best scenario possible. And if Bo leaves, that'll be insane.
I don't want that to happen.
I mean, if they're spending this much money, you may as well just spend that extra, lock him up for the rest of his career, and then go to as many conference championships as you possibly can. The best hitter in baseball.
I agree. He's a ridiculous hitter. And you saw how he played injured, too. I mean, he could barely run, and the dude was hitting balls clean. You're a good hitter.
You bring those guys back because you were an inch away on multiple occasions from winning a World Series. So you bring every single individual, and you just try to strengthen your bullpen, in my opinion.
All right, let's see what his chat said. My man, pronounced Wirtz, says Tricks 8543. Thank you. I don't know why I can't say this again. Liverpool have spent hundreds of millions of dollars on players. I'm assuming that's what Adam meant. Lost players like Diaz now suffering, but like Man United. Yeah, Man United is kind of the same thing. And Adam, I'm hearing they want what's his name? Ugh, what's wrong with me? What the hell is the dude's name? The captain of United, man, Ferna. I don't know. Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. I just can't remember his name at the moment. I heard they're trying to push him out. And it's Ruben Amorim that wants him, and so as a result, they're not pushing him out. But apparently Saudi bids came in hot for that, much higher than he was getting paid at United. But apparently he wants to stay with the club. That's what I read today. I forget his name, man. What the hell is his name? Bruno Fernandes. Thank you, Happy Coder. I don't know why I forgot his name there. Remember when Luis Figo left Barcelona to Real Madrid? That was just, that's treachery right there, bro. That's, that to me, you don't do that. You don't cross into your biggest rival. That's like from going from, let's see, from Liverpool to Everton. You just don't do that. You don't, from City to United. I know some people have done that in the past, but that's just one way to get blacklisted in your old club. Roland Joe, Wirtz was around 116 million pounds. Isak was 125. That does make sense. Isak, of course, the Premier League player. Machiavelli, 8869. $5 super chat. Joe, nobody is taking your sporting advice after the Hulk Ronaldo incident. Voter fraud. Look, man, it's a contextual thing. We were at Joey's.
Yeah,
funny enough.
We did it live.
we did it live at Joey's. At his namesake. Yeah. Brendo was there. Everybody was there.
We did it live.
We checked with 2 waiters, all of which were younger, by the way. They were all younger. And we asked them the following. Katina Man showed them a picture of Hulk Hogan. One guy thought it was like Steve Austin, but and the other person didn't know who it was. But what was immediately true was as soon as that Ronaldo picture came out, everybody and their mother's third cousin knew who Ronaldo was. And it's contextual. You put it in, like, if you go to the dinosaurs in my building and you show them those two, they're likely going to know Hogan over Ronaldo, man.
Where's Katina Man when you need him? Because yesterday he put up a poll And I literally leave, the poll goes up, I come back, and then he messages the group chat, it's over. There's like 500 votes. I'm like, why did it end so quickly?
It ended quick because he wanted the dub.
Yeah,
he wanted to go one for one.
I'm like, I know, but you can't just close it down like that. And then when I look momentarily after, it's at 50-50. So I'm like, hey, Katina, man, what's going on here? Who calls the end of the poll that quick, right? So anyways.
That's the strength that Katina man wields around here.
Yeah, you can shut it down when you want. So
you can't just wield that power immediately. You gotta have hours under your belt. Shout out to the Katina man. All right, guys, let's get back to trading. We're still holding TLRY. TLRY rejecting for yet another time. 13.49. It has sellers at the half dollar that we can't seem to shake. 13.49 high a day. We're holding from 05s, and we wet the beak multiple times into the high there. Still holding several pieces looking for continuation. Separately, we're holding VOR at 15.30. Alas, it did get into 15.82 high a day, coming back down now, though, into the 60s. The move here is, for me, if it comes into the 10 EMA in the 40s, I want to add. But I need proof that it's going to hold on there. Look, if it defends the half dollar at 15.50 and then makes another candle to make a new high, I'm going to get in wherever that candle allows me to get in, all right? Because I want to ride trend here on VOR. It's not, an aggressive mover, and it's also spready, but it's continuing to be predictable, and that's what I'm trying to gauge right now. And then I also want to mention one that I put on my crap list there. VMAR, look, it's working its way into that mid $1 area, 105, 106. It has selling almost every time it comes into that level. That's the bad news. The good news is you're getting now defends of that 92 penny area where the volume weighted average price is, so you know buyers are picking it up at VWAP. And also you've got some higher lows. But you're gonna have to take out some of these sellers here in the low $1 in order to rock it up. Now, you have two options. You can build a smaller position here and give yourself room to below VWAP. So if it loses VWAP, you get stopped out. Or you can wait, right, for that break and then, look to add in on a dip trade. It really does come down to your preference. I don't want to execute on VMAR, but if this thing starts rocketing up, I'm going to have to. For now, though, I don't like what I see. We haven't taken out some of those key levels yet. I'm talking about that 105 to, say, 108 level. We do. It's a different story. Pets, we ended up getting stopped out break even. Well, not even break even. We lost about 4 pennies on the last remaining amount. Still a very profitable trade for me. This one is finding, though, support at VWAP right now. VWAP, the 10 EMA, and the half dollar are almost all overlapping. It's just like all bunched into one area. So this half dollar has a good area of support, at least technically. So you could enter here and give it to the half dollar as resistance or as your stop. That's exactly what I'm gonna do on pets. We're gonna punch in here and we're gonna risk about 9 pennies for much, much smaller share size just so that we can take the technical trade. And here's what we're gonna do, Joey. We're gonna go right below that half dollar and we're gonna put in a stop. So if it loses the half dollar, it loses me as a trader, and we'll do just that. So let's go ahead and put some profit takers possibly here for a price spike up. And we're gonna layer some into the 60s as well, of course, into the 70s. So PETS, looking for a bounce back up off VWAP, off the 10 EMA, off the half dollar. Again, they're all overlapping, and I'm trying to take advantage of that. I want to mention MSOX as well. So I bitched and complained about the fact that TLRY has a half dollar seller. No such problem on MSOX. Into the high the day we go. We're about 2 or 3 pennies away from 855. That is the high of the day on MSOX. Looking awfully bull flaggish with an upward channel to form kind of the flag component. You got to love that instead of the downward channel that we typically see, or sideways. So this is an extra bullish bull flag over here. Look for continuation into the 3/4, and maybe even if we get real bullish, we'll get maybe even a 9 touch and drop, or touch and pop, I should say. There goes pets into my first print there. So we'll get the beak wet at 65. Now we're looking for 69 and 74 here on PETS. Let's see if we can run this one off the volume weighted average price and into the highs. TLRY right back into area highs. I've posted, I believe, at 50 on the dot, 50 pennies that is. So it will have to clear the high of the day for me to get that print on TLRY. And then VOR, the other one that we're involved in, holding right now. So prior bar low on VOR, I'm talking about the candle at 1240, low of 52. This current candle, low of 55. You have a higher high and a higher low on the current candle on VOR. This could be an interesting opportunity to add. I don't know whether I want to add, though, on this one. It's just, it's moving, it's spready. That's the thing. So I'm worried the bottom could drop off at any time on this one. And I like my entry, but I'm gonna look at this one a little bit more. If I decide to add in, I'll let you guys know. But we're back into 3 trades here, Joey. As we get closer to that 1 o'clock time slot, we'll start the news quite soon.
All right, man. Whenever you're ready, we rock and roll. Machiavelli, all love, brother, as always. Mike P, I'm glad you're starting to climb things back. Why am I short here? Robinhood. I mean, I'm so small. I'm giving this $1, right? I'm usually typically looking for 20 cents, 10 cents worth of risk. That's how small I am. I'm willing to risk $1, so up to $1.10 there approximately. And it wasn't very a precise entry. I'm just like, hey, let's see if this support level is going to break, and if the market wants to kind of just give that floor out here. So I'm more than happy. If it comes back to this level, then we'll lose on this. But this is exactly what we got going on. We got this wedge starting to be formed, descending triangle, support level right at 1818. If it does make an additional move higher, that's going to put us right around 1877. If we get a 5-minute pin opening above that, then we get out of dodge here on the short on Robinhood.
Joseph, it's now time for some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. We're talking about Beta Pro by Global X Canada. They are Canada's largest provider of leveraged inverse and inverse leverage ETFs, and they've just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs. They're offering you guys 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and of course on U.S. Treasuries. And if you want even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 pennies, all until December 31st, 2025. Plus, the U.S. focus strategies, they use currency hedging, which offers you the potential for pure performance as well as exposure. So, if you're tactical and you're a sophisticated trader and you're looking to amplify your performance, you need to check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. Shout out to Beta Pro.
Good stuff there. Thank you very much, brother. So yeah, I mean here, Machiavelli, here it is, 12%, closer to 13% off of those highs. I mean, these names that haven't had that substantial pullback that we've seen, obviously with Meta and a couple of other names across the board, there's some more room down here. So if it does fall into that 190 level, I wouldn't be surprised if it does, right? But you can see you construct that new high at 264.88, and then you start to come back off of that level down approximately 12% from that zone here. So keep an eye out. There's going to be multiple necklines, guys. Once they start getting broke around the 225-ish, whatever you want to call it, 223, then you get some downward momentum. You already see the downward momentum, but I think there will be a little bit more, and then you head towards that next pivot level, which is approximately around 194.56. All right. So keep an eye out on Micron. I wouldn't be like, this is me personally, right? I'm not buying too much unless there's a substantial amount of selling, and like we've seen in Meta. So with Meta, we're down approximately from those lows. We were down 26%. I'll start buying some there. All right. Same with the likes of what was I recently in Netflix. Pull up Netflix, you're down substantially off of this previous high, $134 before the split, you're down 30%. I'll grab a little bit more of that, right? As for MU and NVDA and a lot of these semi names and everything to do with the AI infrastructure, I'm going to be avoiding that right now. I'm going to wait for them to pull back a little bit more aggressively, and then we'll get involved based off of that. But there goes Robinhood to the downside. This is starting to work for us, guys. We were talking about this not too long ago, necklines being broken, and then sure enough, we get a little bit of a move. I'm going to wait till 17 because I'm giving it $1. I'll wait till 17 if I'm fortunate enough to even get that level, and then I will look to take some out. I may or may not get it, so regardless of what it is, we're going to diamond hands Deontay Wilder this, and then sure enough, wait for that move as the SPY and the Nasdaq are heading right towards the same lows, guys. So you can see 608.03 right there. Boom, 607 is going to be that level that you're going to keep an eye out on. If that breaks, then you might see some momentum and velocity head towards the downside, Sharif. So watch out for what the big boys are doing. Here's NVDA, so we'll do a quick comparison before we send it back to the boy. And there it is. Levels being broken. Watch out for more downside, guys.
All right, guys, flattened out my position on pets. Look, it's not doing anything that bad, but it's just too close to VWAP. Not enough volume coming in. So as we start, we're going to start the news shortly. I wanted to say to myself, look, I don't want to manage this one that's so close to VWAP and so close to my entry. So we flattened out there. If it loses the $0.50, I don't think that I'd be interested in this one. And I know for a fact it's really had trouble printing anything above 70s, right? Look at all the closing prints on the 5. I mean, it does spike up into 392, but it's certainly having trouble clearing that level. VOR, I'm going to get stopped out. I just got stopped out break even on the last remaining amount there. I tried to add into this level, but I gave it like almost no room. I think that's another mistake, though. It has a tendency to breach the 10 EMA. Let's watch now, though, to see if it catches a bid and moves back above 1544. That's a 10 EMA. It did it at 1215. Let me show you exactly what I mean there. So here's VOR. It dropped all the way there, right into 1492. In fact, lost 15, which is why it stopped me out, and then proceeded to make new highs right after that. It did it again right now. Whether or not this candle ends up getting bought up like the 1215 candle, that's a different story. If it does, I'm going to get right back into VOR because that'll be just a tendency for it to do that. But if it starts losing the 20 EMA, then I have nothing to do with this one until about 1450 or so. That's where VWAP is, as well as the breakout level from that candle at 1105. So VOR is still in focus for me, but not with this current price action. Separately, VMAR still trading below $1, and it still has that seller at 105 to 108 that we can't shake. TLRY, the last trade that I've got on here, hugging again the 10 EMA on the 5 like it's been doing all day, literally all day, with no closing prints south of the 10 EMA, save and except for this bad boy at 1020, and it got bought right back up in that 1025 candle. So let's see what this one does. I've got 05s on. Anything below 13 ends the trade for me. But it feels like, really, that's not what I'm looking at, where my stop is. It feels like I'm really trying to find the area where I can add more here on TLRY because it's got an upward channel. And the upward channel just, to me, means that buyers are just continuing to buy this up on dips. So I'm going to try to figure out another way to get more share size into TLRY. And, of course, keep an eye on VMAR. All right, let's bring in, you have anything before we start the news, brother? Or?
No, man, I'm just sitting in this Robinhood trade. It's one of the more difficult names to short, in my opinion, just due to the fact that you have a lot of people still buying it up all the time. So that's why I'm just like, hey, we'll just throw a little risk out here and see what we can get going, see if we can get a breakdown to 17 or anything along those lines. 19 is going to be the stop, so 1910 roughly. So yeah, that's all I got going on. I was going to go through the volume and everything along those lines, but that can wait. There's the TQs. Watch out for this to break. This is a weird shelf, man. It's just like just consistently buying off of these levels. You get a couple of whipsaw moves here, but then it's just like right back up, right back up. So, I mean, if it's happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times, now going on its 12th time, and that's just on 5-minute candles, that's a key support level. Multiple touches, you want to get in closer end of the range. Unless the volume really starts to pick up, then that's when you want to sell the lower end of the range. Thanks for the analysis and keep up the chat. No, yeah, no problem, Machiavelli. Much appreciated, brother. And then drop systems, how about you don't short my biggest long hold position then, bruh? Oh, I mean, hey, man, you know, I've been a Robinhood bull for quite some time. Intraday is a totally different story, and nor am I anywhere close to what we got going on in the long-term positions there, brother. So, yeah, that's what we got. So far, a pretty good day. This is going to be my 4th name that I've traded. APLD is going to be the only loser of the day so far. We don't want to count our chickens too quick. Is that even a saying? Anyways, Tesla, SMR, Tesla, TSLL, definitely our better trader of the day.
Sounds good, Joey. Let's get right down to work. And perfect segue, because now we're going to do Tesla. And they're driverless, I should say, robo-taxis. We talked about this, guys. By the way, VMAR just broke above prior high. VMAR could be a breakout now as it gets into 110. It's at 105, 104. Be on the lookout for that VMAR. Crazy. Up 174%. Natalie, you asked about the campus program. It's likely in the new year. We don't have an exact date yet, but we'll keep an ear out. We'll update you, but it is coming in the new year, hopefully sooner rather than later. VMAR might be catching a bid here, guys, through 110. Let's talk about Tesla. All over X on the weekend. All I kept seeing was videos out of Austin of people taking pictures of the Model Y driving without a safety driver and anybody in the car for that matter. So, and Tesla did confirm that. Elon confirmed it. Tesla X account also retweeting the videos that I just mentioned by just regular, bystanders. They confirmed they have begun fully testing fully driverless vehicles in Austin, removing human occupants from the car, of course. CEO Elon Musk stated testing is underway with no one inside. This comes, of course, 6 months after Tesla launched limited robo-taxi service in Austin with human supervisors in the passenger seat. As we know, Elon Musk has been talking about. I think I got into a VOR. Sorry, guys, I have to digress. I just got into VOR. I have to take this stupid thing off over here. Sorry, give me a sec. I have to digress. I have to put profit takers on VOR. Is this a breakout trade? There we go. Sorry, guys, just give me a second over here to layer my orders on this one, as this one did break trend to the high side, so I want to be able to catch some prints if this one does go. And we have shares here, so we should probably take out some more in the mid-70s. I have to put in a stop as well. Just allow me a second. There we go. So we'll go just like that, and then all the way down here for this machine. Good. Sorry about that, guys, but let's get right back down to work. So Elon Musk has been talking about driverless vehicles for like over a decade. Now they're actually capable of doing that, as we've seen now. And we know that he's been operating in Austin, as well as San Francisco Bay Area, with executives at Tesla hinting there could be a broader fleet activation via over-the-air software updates. That's how Tesla has been operating, essentially, since I remember. All the software updates come via over-the-air. You don't have to go into the dealership, or anybody have to come to you for that matter. So I think what he's hinting at here is people who own Teslas could all of a sudden find themselves with a potential income-generating robo-taxi on their driveway when they're at work. We'll have to see how that all gets rolled out. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Of course, we know Tesla has reported 7 collisions in the Austin area as of mid-October. Tesla characterized the incidents as non-severe. What I do find interesting, of course, is the pleasure with which traditional media likes to report on Tesla's failures, but also negates completely to report on Waymo's failures. And my phone is inundated with saved videos on X and TikTok where Waymo's causing havoc all over the streets of, I believe that this was a San Francisco area, where like there was a 3-way standoff between different Waymos. 2 of them collided together. The other one was just observing. All the while, nobody could get out of their driveway. So, we always seem to hear about Tesla's failures. We don't seem to hear as much, or if at all, about the other companies' failures, but there are plenty of failures when it comes to autonomous vehicles. A natural progression, of course, of the technology developing. Texas currently allows, when we're talking about the regulatory landscape here, they allow autonomous vehicle testing and operation on public roads. There's really no oversight by the DMV, but that will change in May of next year. Texas will require formal DMV authorization for testing of autonomous vehicles on public roads. And in California, even though they're testing in the San Francisco Bay Area, apparently the California regulators saying still Tesla does not have a license to actually do that. Apparently they're using some loophole. Joey, what do you make of this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting. Oh, they don't have the license to, sorry, repeat that one more time?
They actually don't have authorization from the California Department of Motor Vehicles.
To run their...
No, they're using a loophole. They're not even calling it autonomous. They're calling it something different.
To get around things.
Exactly.
I mean, this is... it's very interesting things. I like how Sharif just brings out the fact that, like, hey, you can tell that people are still out for Tesla. And within California, I think it's really interesting considering Waymo's operating with essentially driverless vehicles in California, obviously San Francisco, LA, and everything along those lines. But watch out. This is just the beginning, and this is what you want to see from Tesla. You're starting to see him live up to his promises. It's taking some time, and that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, from a production standpoint, don't forget who has the ability to go exponential, because they already have everything that they need, and that's Tesla. So as long as they're continuously progressing, I like this name even more. Maybe this has something to do with those strike prices that we've seen all the way up at $800. Is it SpaceX correlated? Maybe, possibly, but we're going to remain forward-looking with Tesla stock, and that's going to come with robotics and autonomy. They're on the right path.
Good, Joey. Let's go on to the next topic over here. NVIDIA acquires ShedMD to deepen their AI software moat. They got CUDA, now they're picking up another. So they announced the acquisition of AI software firm ShedMD to reinforce their push beyond hardware into critical AI infrastructure software. The deal will strengthen their position across the full stack of the AI, or the full AI stack, I should say. Financial terms were not disclosed, and that is a little bit eyebrow raising because, you know, they've been spending so much money and, you know, the market's really frowning upon all the AI CapEx, and so for them not to disclose the amount here was a little bit eyebrow raising for me. Anyway, ShedMD develops a software called Slurm, a widely used open source workload scheduler that manages massive computing jobs across data centers. It's essential for infrastructure, for training and running large LLMs, but it does do both sides of the equation. It does inference as well as training, and NVIDIA confirmed Slurm will remain open source despite, of course, the company picking it up for an undisclosed source. NVIDIA's CUDA platform remains a core lock-in for tool developers, making the software a key differentiator between some of their competitors, AMD most notably. ShedMD acquisition deepens NVIDIA's control over how AI workloads are scheduled and optimized. And just to give you a little background on the company, ShedMD, it was founded in 2010 by Mo Jet and Danny, I can't say this guy's name, Abel. They're based in Livermore, California. They employ about 40 people. They serve high-end clients, including the likes of CoreWeave, Barcelona Supercomputer Center, and it deepens the integration into supercomputing and AI research environments, Joey. So NVIDIA down, or flat, I should say, down 0.06 on the day. What do you make of this acquisition?
You know, I think it's pretty big. It's funny that the market isn't reacting like it was a couple of weeks ago or a month ago when you've seen all these partnerships with NVDA. I think it's at this point, I don't know what's going on with it, obviously. It's good that they're building their customer base and obviously their partnerships. But it's, for me, every time I hear a partnership with NVDA right now, it's just like the boy who cried wolf. We went through all those pumps, and I think the market is just slightly exhausted of that. So you can see that we weren't overly reactionary to this news here this morning, and a lot of sideways price action. I think the market is priced in what they think is fair value here on NVDA, and some of these acquisitions, even though good for the company, the street just kind of brushing it off the shoulder right now.
It does, yeah. It's like they don't want to hear anything.
We went over this, right? Like, it's like, hey, yeah, okay, we went through that phase where all the partnerships and acquisitions are going through.
Right.
You're pumping other stocks. Now it's like, okay, we can't do this every day. We're not, every partnership or deal made, we're not going to move the market based off of an NVDA deal.
Okay. Let's go on to the next story, Joey. People are just asking why the market's moving down. I'm looking, guys. We'll keep an eye out on the news over here, but I'm not seeing anything quite yet. All right, let's go on to the next story. Amazon partners with Slop to expand seller financing. This is actually quite interesting. We always talk about buy now, pay later. But this is actually for their authorized sellers on the platform so they can grow their business. I think this was pretty cool. So Amazon's partnering with Slop, an AI-powered lending startup to offer reusable lines of credit directly to Amazon US sellers. The credit facility is backed by the good folks at JP Morgan Chase as well as Altman. Apparently Altman's in this as well. Eligible sellers can apply directly inside Amazon Seller Center, and this software uses artificial intelligence and its own in-house large language model to underwrite the risk, the seller risk, in real time and give you a response. The system analyzes your Amazon performance data, the sales of the products, your cash flow, and it offers a faster and more precise decision than traditional banks do for seller financing. It also allows Slop, I think, is probably to deliver instant approvals. As I mentioned, lines of credit are going to start at about 8.99%. Sellers must be in business for at least 1 year and generate more than $100,000 in annual revenue. Approved sellers can draw funds as needed and choose repayment terms from 3 months to 1 year. And the independent sellers on Amazon account for more than 60% of Amazon's total sales, making their liquidity critical, of course, to platform growth. Amazon previously previously ran its own in-house lending program, which, you know, addressed about $1 to $2 billion in total addressable market. That was over a year ago. Now, Slope running the program, management does expect that TAM to increase markedly. So we'll have to see how that works. But it's a low margin product for them, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, the e-commerce business is nothing like AWS, but hey, you know, help your sellers get more out there, right?
See, you know what's funny, Sharif? I like that we were talking about this, obviously this credit-based system, because I heard something very interesting from Tucker Carlson the other day.
Okay, let's hear it.
To him. So he said essentially, who are you going to give more trouble to? The individual who is using the drugs or Pablo Escobar, who's distributing it? See where I'm going with this? So why is it that these credit card companies are allowed to issue more credit to individuals and young teens and help that allow them to get into all this substantial debt? So who's really more liable, the issuer or the individual using the credit card?
I agree with you 100%. I just don't know if this is one of those situations where it's like that. They're trying to expand, like, okay, so you have to sell, I think the article says you have to sell $100,000 in annual revenue. So you have to already be doing these.
Okay, so you have to be doing these.
Yeah,
all right.
So you know, it doesn't mean 100,000 in profit. That just means you sold $100,000 in product. Right? But I completely agree with you. The buy now, pay later part of things gets a lot of people in trouble. I don't disagree with that at all.
It just stacks up the debt.
I don't disagree with that at all.
You know what I mean?
And having, you know, I told you that I ran credit card debt when I was young. I was stupid.
Young.
So completely agree with you.
That's the thing, right? So like, why should you be liable at that age? You're significantly younger. You know nothing about the world around you and what it can do and what the effects are in the future. But the bank is like, hey, no problem. We'll continuously raise. We'll raise that.
I agree with you, dude.
They're winning. They're gaining interest off you. And what was this one at? Like 10% or something?
10%, man. 10%, it's not cheap,
right? And the credit cards are about
9%. 9%. Sorry,
9%.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, the credit card companies are like 20% on top of it.
Oh, 100%. This is not even. This is like half that, if that. Let's talk about Ford, man. Taking a complete shift in strategy here. They expect, as a result of that shift in strategy, to record a $19.5 billion special items one-off charge. Okay, it's tied to restructuring its business priorities and pulling back on its pure EV investments. Most charges are going to hit in Q4, followed by $5.5 billion charges through 27. But the bulk of that $19.5 billion is going to be paid throughout 2026. So it's going to affect earnings for the next year and a half. Charges will impact net income, but according to the company, it's not going to affect their adjusted EPS. I think that says more about adjusted EPS than it says about their strategy. They did raise their 2025 adjusted EBIT guidance. Now they're guiding about $7 billion. They're previously guiding 6 to 6.5. So a good look there as they make it up in the other parts of the company. And here's the strategic shift that they're going through. The company is going to take $8.5 billion in EV-related asset write-downs, and they're pivoting to hybrids and plug-in hybrids. And they're stepping away from large all-electric trucks like the F-150 in favor of smaller, more affordable EVs, much like the Model 2 that we never got from Elon. Also, the F-150 Lightning is going to transition from a strictly EV car or truck into an extended range EV. What does that mean? Well, just take a look at what Li Auto has been putting out there in terms of a product for a long time. Essentially, it's similar to a hybrid, but not really. There's a gas engine, an electric engine, and batteries. The gas engine charges the batteries. The batteries power the electric engine. So you're going to get that immediate torque that you get on EVs. It's not going to drive like an ICE engine. The point of it is, though, you get to drive on the batteries for about 200 kilometers, maybe a little bit less. And then you've got the gas engine should you be on a longer trip. Most people's daily trips are going to be less than 200 kilometers. But if you need more range, you get up to about, this is Li Auto's, I don't know what the F-150 extended range is going to be, about 1,350 kilometers on the L6 and the L8. So the concept is interesting, right? Where if you need the gas engine, it's there. If you don't need the gas engine, you can drive on batteries. Apparently, that's going to be the new format now for the F-150 Lightning. We'll have to see when it comes out. In addition to that, North American EV deployment is going to focus, as I mentioned, on low-cost, flexible, universal EV platforms, with the first vehicle that's going to be a mid-size electric pickup. And that's going to be made in Louisville, and the date is going to be about 2027 before we see ones on the road. Ford expects about 50% of global volume by 2030 to come from hybrids, extended range electric vehicles, as well as EVs, which is up 17% from 2025. So not really that much of a big deal. And CEO Jim Farley said, look, nobody wants to buy these $50,000 to $80,000 EVs. They just don't want them. We got to drop the price. We got to sell what the customers want. So what do you make of Ford's pivot, Joey?
I think it's interesting because, I mean, it's like, okay, hey, yeah, the Dems are in office. They say, yeah, by whatever year, everything has to be EV. Then you have the Republicans come in and say, no, we're scrapping that.
Exactly.
So if they're going to go by each individual political agendas, what's going to happen in the next couple of years? What if the Democrats come back in and say, hey,
that's the
by
thing.
20? So it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Lose $1 billion every X amount of years? Oh, we need to start this right back up. I think it's very interesting. I was asking Sharif about their autonomy division. I don't think it's even existent at this point. Hybrid, absolutely fantastic, but I think eventually they'll be left in the dust, especially if there's mass adoption of autonomy in vehicles. So I don't really like what's going.
That's actually a good point,
right?
That's actually a good point. Yeah, like especially if autonomy doesn't end up costing nearly as much because it's more software than it is hardware.
Exactly.
I absolutely agree with you.
So it's like you said, they can license it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But at that point, you're already so far behind the race. How much market share are these guys losing day by day? And if that's going to be the case, they don't have their foot in the door with something as big as Tesla and Waymo, then they're already significantly behind the ball.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about PayPal moving to become a bank. So they've formally applied to establish PayPal Bank, a move that would allow it to expand deeper into traditional banking services. It's going to be regulated by the FDIC as well as Utah's Department of Financial Institutions. Management framed this as a move to improve operational efficiency and strengthen their long-term business model. So here's what they're going to do. They're going to enable the company to offer loans directly to small businesses, extending their current product offering for credit. Also plans to introduce interest-bearing saving accounts, which is going to increase engagement, of course, with wallet-sharing consumers. And the strategy positions PayPal closer to that, sort of digital-first bank, competing more directly with the SoFis and even some of the Robinhoods now. PayPal already offers consumer credit lines, and they also own Venmo, as we know. Establishing a bank charter, though, could lower funding costs and give PayPal more control over their lending economics. The move reflects intensified competition from fintech firms, who seek to disrupt the traditional banking. We've seen sort of Robinhood become that, the JP Morgan of millennials and Gen Z or whatever. And now PayPal, that already has a bit of a younger, I don't want to say younger, but has an established base of users. I believe last time I saw, it was about 400 million users they had there.
On PayPal. Yeah, interesting stuff. Let's take a look at this name. It was getting hit for quite some time and then slowly started to recover. Pull up PayPal here momentarily. I'm posted up on the TQs. I think that ship has sailed. We'll talk about that momentarily as the market's starting to rebound. I was waiting there at 25s after this print. Never came back and filled me right there. Otherwise, we'd be nicely off to the races, just risking the low of the day right there around 51.10s. So, yeah, a missed opportunity. All the signals aligned. Should have been a little bit quicker on that trigger. That's fine. Let's head over to PayPal and see what we got going on. This stock has been in some trouble for quite some time and now slowly starting to find its way, I feel like. So as for PayPal, guys, we're going to go over to the weekly. Yeah, oh, wow. Okay, yeah, this is getting more disastrous as we zoom out here. You have that previous high of approximately $308, and now we're trading around 60 bucks. So that's still an 80% haircut. The technicals don't look good whatsoever. Them establishing themselves as a bank, I don't know how much that's going to do for them. I personally have used PayPal other than pre-authorized payments. I've transferred one person, I think, in my life money via PayPal, and I was charged a lot of fees that they were living in the States, I was living here, so I was never really a big fan of this name. PYPL still hovering around those lows. I would look for this to hold up around that $51 level, which it currently is, so keep an eye out on that. Other than that, I mean, it could be a potentially good buy considering how much you have came off of this, even this previous pivot of 308, that was the same one. So yeah, you're still down 80%. And it's been doing nothing for quite some time. I mean, 3 years, right? You're not even at that level quite yet of what we were seeing 3 years ago. PayPal, Yeah, a tough look. I mean, it was hot for so long. Was this COVID? Yeah, so this is your COVID run here. You climb up all the way from $90 to $300. So that's a big time move in PYPL. Now, as for Robinhood, we're still sitting in this. We're out there. We're out of this trade at 119. Didn't break through the support levels. We're posted up on the TQs here to see if we can catch that fill at 25. We'll be patient enough to wait for it. Whether it comes into our level or not, that's totally fine. But why am I looking at this specific trade? Let's break it down here. And this is on the lower time frame. Look at this. An absolute thing of beauty. Look how large this 1 minute volume print. That's going to be the second largest of the day, right? Aside from that opening print. So I like this as potential stopping volume, just correlating price with the volume. And this was the ideal entry. If you had the ability to get in right there, that's a sniper entry in my opinion. So indecision print right at those lows, key support levels, and then now you're starting to get somewhat of a rebound here in the TQQs. NVDA hasn't found its way all day. I mean, we go from 177 as a high, intraday that is, to 174. So it's just 175 even roughly. So it's been trading within that range for quite some time, guys. Watch out for it to find its direction. We'll head over to the daily on this because I do believe that there's going to be some more downside. We're just kind of prolonging that move. So inside day from what we experienced on last Friday, Friday, and then sure enough yesterday, inside day, and we're forming another one here today. If we do open up below 175, I'm going to look for that nice move to the downside, guys. And we're starting to come back in here on the TQs, 51.33. Let's see if we can get that bounce and that move into our level.
All right, guys. Yep. Let's go on to the next topic, cannabis stocks. We've been talking about this one all day with MSOX, MSOS, TLRY, a bunch of others going after President Trump confirmed he is considering an executive order to loosen the federal marijuana regulations. The administration is, quote, looking very strongly, end quote, reclassifying marijuana. The shift to shift cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And removing it from the same category as heroin. For example, the reclassification could also unlock banking access as well as institutional capital and expanded research, long seen by industry proponents as a structural tailwind for the marijuana sector. Industry executives, they believe, though, the momentum is stronger this time around than in past attempts. We know that President Biden, under his administration, tried to do just that, asking the Department of Justice to reclassify it. They faced, pressure from the DEA from doing that, but it looks as if this time it might get done. We'll have to wait and see. Investors remain cautious, though, as prior reform headlines have often failed to translate into sustained upside, and it is still a shortcoming of legalization. It's not a shortcoming; it falls short, of legalization, federal legalization, to kind of give that national framework like we have in this country, where I don't know if that's gonna help move the needle for users in the States, but it certainly helps with corporate.
I find it so weird that they're, like, America always, I find that they're at the front of things, whether it be in the crypto space, you get more clarity with that from a regulation standpoint.
Right.
But then you also have these massive epidemics, like the opioid crisis that's going on, but yet marijuana is still hasn't been a priority. I just find it really weird. They're really late to this.
Well, yeah.
I don't understand it. Maybe I never will, but it's like, hey, come on, guys. Like, you guys got more clarity within a speculative asset like crypto. People can lose their money, but God forbid that they smoke any marijuana or anything like that. And then obviously with the crisis, the opioid crisis as well too. I just find it really interesting. More people in North America and obviously across the world affected by that crisis specifically.
Absolutely.
Compared to what you see in marijuana. So.
Fabian saying, well, there's a lot to go through that. So Fabian, maybe we can put up a poll if you have. Should we say federal legalization pro or con? I'd like to see what the chat has to say about that. Maybe there are more people who are pro. I know in this country there was certainly probably a few more pro people than cons, but that's sort of behind us now, and we don't really need to worry about that.
It's almost a decade behind us at this point, man. What was it, 2017?
2018, I think we actually got the legalization. Then it took a couple of years to actually see the framework come to fruition with the stores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
because they did the lottery. Remember, they were doing that lottery, and then they scrapped that.
And then nobody wants to open up a weed store anymore because they don't make any money because margins are completely nothing, right? And we the price of marijuana keeps going down, right? Anyway. Yeah, whenever we can put that, that'd be great. Ozan, if we're all high,
yeah, but
of course,
someone says like, hey, Joe, the reason why is because the tobacco industry gives a lot of money to Congress. That's fine, but you don't think that marijuana could do the exact same thing, or cannabis? I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah, and well, they got to make money too.
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah, it's a good point.
It's just weird. I don't know.
It's the same thing as, you know, you could make the argument, the same thing for the gun lobby. Anyway.
Well, I mean, hey, did you see about the Canadian firearms buyback program? How much money that wasted?
Yeah, that wasted a lot. That wasted a lot. Yeah.
People aren't going to give up the majority of people aren't going to give up their firearms. There's zero chance.
The poll is super simple, Fabian. Are you for or against federal legalization of cannabis? That's it. Yep. Fluffy Hippo asking a good question to you there, Joey. Does Canada charge extra tax on weed? Yes, of course. And that was one of the reasons that they were incentivized to legalize it, because they love taxes in this country, right? They really anything they can put their hands on, they're going to put their hands on. Let's go on to the next story. Zillow sliding aggressively yesterday, and let's see what it's up to today. No, up 2%, bouncing back a bit here on concerns that Google competition is near. Reports show that Google is testing real estate listings directly in search. Screenshots shared by industry analysts show Google displaying for sale listings with photos, details, agent contact, as well as tour requests, closely mirroring, of course, Zillow's own core marketplace features. The listings appear to be powered by House Canary data and are currently limited to select markets and mobile devices, indicating that it is still very much in the early testing stages. Zillow, though, they lost roughly $1.6 billion in market capitalization, bringing the total value to about 16.3 just on this news, right? Bouncing, as I mentioned, about 2% and change today. The concern is the platform de-intermediation, right? Where buyers may start their home search directly on Google instead of Zillow, right? Thank you, guys. The poll is up, by the way, right now. So if you want to vote on whether you feel the federal government should legalize marijuana south of the border, go ahead and vote right now in the poll. We'd love to know what you have to say, and kind of keeps everything very interactive. Investors are pricing in long-term threat, of course, of Google leveraging its dominant search position to reshape how people find homes and look for listings south of the border. But there is Wall Street pushback here. Several analysts emphasize that Zillow's reliance on organic search traffic is relatively small, reducing risk to Zillow. So what they're trying to say is here, well, people don't go to Google search to find a home. They go directly to Zillow, and they're going to continue to go directly to Zillow. That's one perspective. I don't think that that's far off. Wells Fargo compared the move to Google's hotel meta search model, which portals bid for ad placement rather than being displaced. Kind of an interesting take there. There is, though, that competitive risk. Let's talk about the other side of the coin here. Goldman flagged the biggest risk as competition with Zillow's premier agent business, which monetizes buyer leads for agents. Google's format could facilitate agent lead generation directly inside search, potentially bypassing, in this case, Zillow's ecosystem. So I don't know if you use Zillow. It works on this side of the border.
Realtor does. I think
I use Realtor.
Yeah. There's another. What's the other website here?
You're talking about...
you know which one I'm talking about.
The one that you can see where it's sold for, how much it's sold for.
Yeah,
I forget that one.
Yeah, you forget.
House Karma or something like that?
Crap, something along those lines, yeah. I mean, you know what, this just smells like another antitrust, if you ask me. These guys are going to get in trouble for having too much of a stranglehold on the real estate search.
Right.
And something else going on along those lines. There's Realtor.ca.
Exactly.
I think that's available in America as well, too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Realtor.ca.
Yeah.
So I mean,
.com,
Realtor.com.
I know what you mean.
It would be over there. It's just interesting, man. Google just establishing its dominance just yet in another sector. I personally never seen anything along those lines with Google. I don't know if it's here yet, but if you go for it's like Google Flights, hotel search. So they're eliminating a lot of these third-party search engines really at the end of the day. So I don't know what's going to happen with this in Google. So interesting stuff. I think they'll get in trouble with it eventually because it's still.
There's an angry person in the chat, man.
What is he saying?
Of course you Canadians want us America's stupid and high. Why do you watch us if you hate us so much, bro? You can leave. Let's go on to the next story. Some moron. Anyway, let's go on. EA flags softer full year 2026 outlook. So they're forecasting full-year net bookings of around 7.85 billion, below what the street was looking. The street was looking for over 8 billion, citing stronger consumer spending. Not bad, not bad. Company also guided adjusted EBITDA to about 2.76 billion, trailing the consensus of 2.93, which is signaling to the market that there is margin pressure as well as demand concerns. Management framed the outlook as prudent, given a tougher macro and highly competitive holiday release window. We're gonna have to keep an eye out on that, but I just want, what's it called? GTA, well, it's not GTA 6, it's not bad. Fabian, is GTA 6 by EA? No, it's not. EA highlighted tightening consumer, Take-Two Interactive. The TTWO. EA highlighted tightening consumer entertainment budgets, with players sticking to familiar franchises rather than moving on and trying out new titles. There's also the elevated console prices, which are putting a damper on the games, and a crowded release calendar, they're also saying, which are weighing on sell-through during what is typically the peak sales period for video games. The commentary reinforces broader industry caution as publishers navigate away from slower discretionary spending in 2026. But they do, EA that is, plan to rely on their core sports and action IP. We're talking about, you know, sports, their Sports FC, Madden, NFL, Battlefield as well. So interesting look here from EA saying, you know, that they're not expecting as much in terms of spending on games going to the Christmas season, Joey.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if you ask me, Madden and NHL, I know Katina Man and the kids are playing with it. I've been playing those games for as long as I can remember, and they don't really change too much, in my opinion. So I can see people getting bored of them. There's so many other things that you can do now, and so many apps. You can scroll on social media and do all these things. So the kids, I mean, I don't know if they're that attractive to the video games, kind of like I was, because I was growing up in that generation where you had the Xbox, GameCube, and all these consoles coming out. I feel like that narrative has slowly started to cool down as people move to PC gaming and everything along those lines. So I'm not surprised by this. NHL has been the same. I remember, I think it was like NHL 01, Jerome and Ginla was on the front of it, and you just used to light dudes up. The games haven't changed, in my opinion, that much, and I can see why people are starting to lose their interest. The kids, that is.
That fair, makes sense. Yeah. All right, just give me a sec. Let's go on to the next topic. We're talking about Intel reshuffling their leadership amid Washington focus. We gave you a very similar story not that long ago, but today Intel reportedly appointed Robin Colwell, who's a senior economic advisor to President Trump, as head of government affairs within Intel. The move comes months after the U.S. government took about a 10% stake in Intel, of course, underscoring the tighter alignment that they've got lately with Washington here. The role had been vacant since this dude Bruce Andrews departed following U.S. elections, creating a leadership gap in a critical policy period. So here's this Colwell guy. He previously served as Deputy Assistant to the President and Deputy Director of the National Economic Council, bringing experience, of course. Intel's appointment signals a push to navigate subsidies, regulation and national security priorities as, of course, the AI trade starts to heat up and Intel finds itself right in the middle of that. The hire strengthens Intel's positioning among ongoing CHIPS Act funding, trade policy, and geopolitical tech tensions. There's James Chu guy. He was named Vice President of Intel Government Technologies. He's going to be overseeing Intel's U.S. government business. And Chu had previously worked at Cadence Design Systems, where Lip Bhutan also was formerly CEO. So they obviously know each other there. Intel also hired this Annie Shea, I can't even say the last name there, Wexer, who is a Cisco veteran, and she's a Chief Marketing and Communications Officer. Joey, a lot of shakeup there happening on Intel. What's the look on your side? Yeah,
I mean, Lip-Bu's been extremely active as soon as he came in as the CEO. Intel has been performing well as well, guys, just considering that obviously the U.S. government taking that 10% stake in the company, and the stock has been up to the races. From July, you get that double up 125%, starting to come back in. So, yeah, that's a nice little move. I think this stock is going to continue to climb as they continue to broaden, I guess, their customer base as well, too, which I think is extremely important.
Hey, how are you, Peter? How's it going? All right, guys, let's talk a little Bitcoin here. It slips as risk jitters hit the crypto market. Where's the coin at right now, Joey? We're 87.5, a little bit below 87.5. We're up almost 2% on the day, but still a tough one for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin started trading around 87,000 bucks after stock market volatility on Monday slipped, of course, into the crypto market. The broader crypto complex moved lower, which is kind of reflecting that risk-off position that we've been feeling on Bitcoin for a while now. Major altcoins also dropped following BTC's lead, reinforcing that negative sentiment that continues to plague the markets. Hashdex said crypto can no longer be ignored, suggesting that a 5 to 10% portfolio application may be warranted. That seems aggressive. I tried to convince my parents into 5%, then 1%, and they weren't having any of it. So I can completely see why this 5 to 10% would be big for some people. The reports, though, point to UK crypto regulation coming in 2027. JP Morgan also plans to add about $100 million of tokenized money market funds, signaling deeper involvement with the blockchain. Visa also expanding their advisory service for banks on stablecoin strategy and implementation. Visa looking to throw their hat into the crypto ring as well. But analyst Ali Martinez, he flagged $87,000 as a critical inflection level for Bitcoin's broader structure. A sustained move above this area could keep the bullish framework going, but a breakdown would raise the risk that we do bleed into that $70,000 area that we were talking about this morning. Ted Pillows, an analyst there as well, Katina, man, he noted that the open interest on both longs and shorts, but buyer momentum is weakening, he said, hinting at a choppier trade. Joey, the Coinbase premium has flipped negative now, pointing to a fading U.S. spot demand. This is Coinbase reporting that the shift increases the probability of a pullback towards 85,000 before, of course, that $70,000 area. What do you think? You think people are taking profits here ahead of tax season and tax loss selling? What do you think?
I mean, I think there's a lot of things that can come into play here. Profits, I mean, we're seeing mass liquidation, so I don't know if liquidation is translated into profit. I don't think that's necessarily the case, obviously. But I think what Bitcoin needs is that next major catalyst. I mean, we had the change in administrations which helped drive Bitcoin's price a little bit higher. You had more adoption within the institutions, which helped contribute to that as well, too. But I think for me, the next step is, aside from store value, what is the use case? All right, let's get out of this Robinhood as it's kind of just going opposite the market.
Oppo.
Yeah, okay, there we go. I mean, you take a small loss on that. What the heck, man?
The helly?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, so
I mean, take over?
No, that's okay. So I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's a cooling off period, and we talked about just the length that it takes in order to kind of just kind of get those new wave of buyers stepping in. We know that there's a specific infrastructure use case for Ethereum. As for Bitcoin, we don't have that just yet. So I think it's going to take some time for buyers to re-engage into this market. And I don't think that we climb higher or see any all-time highs in Bitcoin within the next 5 to 6 months.
Okay. Fair, yeah. I think that's fair. Let's talk about Okta. Where's Okta at? They got upgraded today. They were up in the pre. They are up 1.8, not bad. Jefferies today giving them the nod, moving them from a hold to a buy and raising the price target from $90 to $125. The upgrade is part of Jefferies' 2026 software outlook, and they're signaling here growing confidence in Okta's medium to long-term fundamentals. The analyst at Jefferies cited economic valuation dislocation. His argument is the stock no longer reflects the company's improving outlook. Okay. He sees Okta as having a significant opportunity to build out a complete identity platform. Demand from government agencies as well as viewed as a key secular tailwind, which is adding to the durability and the scale of future revenue outlook. The platform strategy positions Okta as a more than a just single product vendor, improving the long-term competitive positioning. The analyst did also highlight improved execution within the company as a core driver for the upside in the next few years, and they expect positive estimate revisions as discipline within the company takes place with respect to cost discipline, and the sales momentum could improve as well. He sees fiscal 2027 as a period where multiple fundamentals could align, potentially unlocking a re-rating potential potentially unlocking a re-rating potential. That's interesting
That's all
there.
right, that's interesting.
But Okta up 2% now, Joey. What's your look?
Good look there, Sharif. Sorry, I was paying attention to, I was working on this trade here. You can see that Robinhood, we got stopped out, no problem. I told you we were going to get out at 19s. But then we also have this TQs trade. Let's break it down. This is something that I should have had substantially more volume on, or shares, volume, whatever you want to call it. Why? Because of the quality of the setup. So here it is at 51.25. You can see my entry. Where am I wrong at 51.10s? 15 cents worth of risk in order to gain 30 essentially right now. So 2 to 1 on the TQs, just outweighing essentially what we lost here on Robinhood, and a nice trade off of the lows in the overall market. As you can see that Robinhood is breaking out. I'm hearing that Palantir is breaking out as well too. So that's going massive towards the high of the day. So a big time recovery in the overall market, and happy to put on this TQs trade as it continues to climb higher. I know you got something rolling there.
All right, man, new traders, listen up, including you, Ozan. The first month is absolutely free. That's right. We're waiving the fees so you can trade smarter, not harder, by upgrading to that elite experience where you'll analyze, you'll strategize, and then hopefully after that you'll capitalize on their platform that has everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, and game-changing charts. And you can predict better with their amazing backtesting tool. Guys, you get reliable, real-time data, global markets at the tips of your fingers. It's an all-in-one platform. Do yourself a favor. Do not miss out. Execute your best trades now. Only if you're ready to elevate your trading, you need to scan that QR code or check out the link in the description. Shout out to the great folks at eSignal.
Sorry, before you go
ahead,
into that
Joey.
next story there, Sharif, look at this breakout here on Robinhood. I mean, we were talking about selling the lower end of the range. I didn't think I was short it.
I'm liking that breakout, though. Good.
But it's like, hey, you have this wedge, boom, and then sure enough, off to the races, and on that 5-minute volume, it starts to pick up. And then look at the 1 minute as well, too, confirming that breakout. So that's a really nice move there in Robinhood, guys. And I mean, same with the TQs as well. Volume picking up on the lower time frames. Indecision prints off the lows. I don't know. We talk about this all day, every day. And essentially, this is what we're looking for from a price action standpoint. Buying pressure, buying pressure, buying pressure. Volume. It's going to be one of the largest 5-minute volumes on the day. It's up there anyways in the upper echelon. So there it is. A nice move. Now starting to reject VWAP. But yeah, we had baby shares on that one, to be honest with you.
Lockheed Martin downgraded despite strong defense backdrop. I guess, you know, with hopefully, hopefully peace coming to Europe sooner rather than later. Morgan now sees, I don't agree with this downgrade, but it is what it is. Morgan Stanley downgrading Lockheed Martin LMT to equal weight from overweight, and they cut the price target from 630 all the way down to 543 as a part of its 2026 aerospace and defense outlook. The downgrade reflects valuation and stock-specific considerations, not a negative view on the broader defense sector, according to the article. Morgan continues to see aerospace and defense as attractive into 26, with demand still outpacing supply growth. The analyst for Morgan here highlighted that defense stocks broadly do not fully reflect the growth in the U.S. defense budget, at least not yet. The framing suggests the call is more about relative positioning within the group than a bearish sector turn. So I got that one wrong at the beginning. After a long run, though, LMT's risk to reward is viewed as more balanced at current levels, hence the downgrade and the price target drop. The stock's already priced in much of the favorable defense demand narrative, according to the analyst, and Morgan seems to be favoring other defense names for incremental upside rather than exiting the space altogether, according to the article. Rising as well, geopolitical tensions continue to sustain government defense spending and continue to underpin the long-term viability for the defense sectors. But there are others in the private sector that are starting to kind of take a bit of a different take to defense. We got your Andurils, who are really focusing more on AI-specific names and much smaller aircraft or much smaller, machines, they have many different things than your typical, defense spending in the past, Joey, where we spent 200 million, 150 million on airplanes, and now that's looking like it's falling out of favor.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, as for LMT, there goes the market as well, too, right off of those lows, guys, up to $52 almost there in the TQQs. We'll head over to LMT's daily and see what we got going on there. Oh, man. I mean, Surprisingly so. I mean, this is government contracts essentially, down 23% off of those specific levels. I mean, this is a wartime, essentially, stock, in my opinion, and things are starting to cool down, some more peace in the world, and LMT is still down 23% off of its previous highs, guys.
All right, let's go on to the next story. We got MCHP. Where's this piece of crap at right now? All right, it's down 2.25. Yeah, it makes sense, Joey. You get an upgrade, and then, you know, you drop 2.25%.
Yeah.
Mizuho raised the price target on microchip technology to $80 from $75 and maintaining that outperform rating. It comes as part of the firm's 2026 outlook for semiconductors and microchips named and the capital equipment that build out the AI race. The target hike signals confidence in MCHP's relative positioning despite mixed sector conditions. This company specifically deals with analog chips, which have found more favor now with the AI build-out. Mizuho highlighted a notable slowdown in U.S. EV sales, down 20 to 30% month over month in October and November, and they expect EV launch cancellations and delays in 26 to weigh on parts of the semiconductor supply chain, a big buyer, of course, of semiconductors. These trends create more uneven recovery path across the markets, especially in the auto-exposed chip makers. Analog, that's what I was talking about there. Despite the EV headwinds, though, Mizuho finally giving us the positive take here. They see analog and automotive semiconductors as a better position than other segments. MCHP's exposure, especially to embedded control, industrial, and auto applications, provides what the firm is thinking is relative insulation from consumer-driven volatility. The firm expects a mixed sector environment where select names outperform rather than a broad-based rally within the overall sector. So MCHP, I asked you guys a few days ago, I think it was a week ago actually, whether or not you saw a head and shoulders pattern here on the daily or weekly and all, and there was broad consensus that this was not. So I guess I was seeing things over here, but here it is again. And this is kind of what I was trying to get at. Weekly, where is it at? Yeah, I was wondering what, downtrend, left shoulder head, right shoulder. Could we get a breakout above 77.5? Looks like I'm going to have to wait for that one for a lot longer, Joey, as it keeps rejecting that $70 area, which just also happens to be the 200 EMA and SMA, which aren't that far apart. What do you make of MCHP?
Yeah. Let's take a look at that name right here. We'll get into this. I'm all out of the TQs, guys. You can see that right here, 15 cents. We wait till 2 to 1 before we take anything off, and then now we're all out at 51.90s. I mean, it shoulda, coulda, woulda. We should have had substantially more shares on this one. Shreve, weren't you talking? Is this the one chip name that you kind of were like?
I'm in it. Yep.
Yeah. This is the one, right?
Yep.
This is microchip. Yeah. I mean, let's take a look at I'm going to give it to just how it is, how I personally see it. We're starting to recover off of these levels. You're down 30% off of those previous pivot highs, but if we go over to our April lows, you're getting a 90% return off of that specific level. Some of these pullbacks are relatively hefty. I mean, you get a 36%er right there, which obviously isn't fun to sit through, but it gives you some time to get out, reestablish your base, and then potentially buy some more. So this uptrend still intact. If that were to break, then that's when I would start to get a little bit worried.
Right.
We have rejected the top end of this range on the third occasion, essentially. But just be cautious, because if you do get a gap fill right here, you might get a bounce off of specific levels and then continue that move to the top side, because it is up 90% off of those April lows, Street.
All right, last one, Joey. Roku surges. Well, at least it was anyway in the pre. Roku at the moment is below VWAP, and it's actually down 0.4% on the day. Morgan with a double upgrade today on Roku from underweight to overweight and boosting the price target from $85 to $135, which implies a 24% upside from the close yesterday. And they expect 2026 to be a strong year for ad sales, advertising spend, led by continued, of course, digital ad sale growth. Connected TV as well, another bullish tailwind for the company. CTV seen as the fastest growing segment within Roku, within a healthy ad market, and it's viewed as a key beneficiary, Roku that is, of that whole ad spend, as they have scale, they have platform reach, and they leverage their ad dollars rather than on hardware sales. That's the way they get the ad sales, is through subsidizing the hardware. Roku launched as well their CTV advertising platform in Brazil, Assassino, expanding international monetization. The company added 30 fast channels. I don't know what this means, but apparently they're live and they're free. I've never had a Roku TV, so I'm not exactly sure. Is that what it is?
Roku TV?
No.
The fashion? No,
Yeah.
I have no.
Oh,
I
you
have
don't know?
Roku on my TV.
It's like IPTV says Fabian. So, but it's free, right? Free to air? Free to air. Thank you, Fabian.
I mean, yeah, I have Roku. I have a Roku TV.
You have a Roku.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you check it out then.
Yeah.
See.
We'll check it.
Oh, even Trader TV, we're on that, eh? Let's go, Fabian. We need to be on that, baby. In any event, Joey, the shares are up 47% year to date, and they posted a decent earnings report, 16 penny EPS, beating the 9 on revenue of 1.21 billion. That was in line. But today they're down, despite the double upgrade, 0.4%.
Yeah, let's take a look at Roku, guys. Oh, look at this market climb, man. What a nice move here in the TQs. And yeah, I wrote it in the chat, guys, that I only put on 10% of my size that I typically do. So I had nothing on this trade, which I should have been some more, but we're not going to dwell over that right now because we've had an all right day. All right, guys, let's pull over. Wow, okay. You would never have guessed that this would be Roku. We head over to those April lows. You're up 109%. So in an industry that you would think would be a little bit more tough, this stock seems to be performing relatively well. I know a lot of individuals have Roku TVs, and obviously on that Roku TV, in the gym, that's all they're running is you see that Roku loop.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, loop going over and over again. So yeah, I mean, the stock isn't horrible. Would I be buying it up here? I don't think so. Wait for some pullback and see what we got going on. Katina Man, still long, small Tesla at 40.73.
Oh.
I like that move. Dude, Katina Man. Check this entry out here. I just posted up at 25s, and it barely goes against me, just risking the low of the day. But I didn't have very many shares on this. And then we wait for a 2-to-1 all the way up here, just risking 15 cents. We wait for that 30 level to come into play. And then sure enough, it's off to the races. So that was a nice, what a recovery. And I think we're being led by NVDA. Right, so NVDA in this consolidative phase for quite some time, and then sure enough, you slowly start to see that volume step in, and bang, off to the races we go. So yeah, I appreciate that, Katina Man. Yeah, I mean, some good stuff here. You see SPY starting to recover right towards the volume-weighted average price. We have the TQs at that level as well, too. So, yeah, some real nice movement in this market today. I was saying to Gaurav, I'm really liking this choppy stuff because just reading the price action, it tells you a lot. And we've been fortunate enough to be able to take advantage of it.
All right, man. That concludes the news segment, guys. We went through basically everything, save and except one story. Let's look at what is moving now in the world of small cap gappers. It's not a bad day here, man. There's a lot going. VMAR still in play, but ALDX, I should have held this one. I certainly didn't. I wasn't going to hold that through the volume weighted average price, but it ended up making a new area high. So this one could be a VWAP hold high of daybreak into the afternoon. This is kind of when you get a big move up. Initially, you don't give up VWAP the entire day. In fact, you hold above it, and then you come to test the high of the day as we're doing now as we get into the more liquid time period. ALDX, not a bad look, up almost 33%. And there's TLRY into the area high, just flattened out there at 75. 382 high, TLRY, very, very strong, and it's been strong since we got that announcement last week on the 11th that President Trump would be seeking to reclassify marijuana from Schedule 1 to 3. And today, or yesterday, in fact, we heard it from his mouth directly saying that he's strongly looking at it, and the price action certainly reflects that comment today. From basically 9:30 onward, this thing's been up and to the right. So TLRY, 1384 high. VOR, I was doing great on this one, then it got stopped out. On this bad boy, we were heavily in the money, and then it broke trend. I didn't give it enough room, so we ended up getting a little negative on this one, but it could have been a big trade. I should have been taking out more at the levels there. VOR, 1582 high, and still putting an upward channel. PETS continues to hold the volume weighted average price. In fact, it's holding the 10 EMA like a glove. Shout out to KC 526 for calling this one earlier. And save and except for that candle at 1240, all the prints were actually above or at the volume weighted average price. So even if you put your stop a shekel or two below that level, you were not stopped out, as this one continues to stair step up into the $0.75, up almost 30%. What else is going on over here? AMCI is not doing much, dropping back below VWAP. VMAR, I said this one was okay, but the problem with this one is the shorts just had it in today for VMAR. I don't know if this one's easy to borrow or what. On my platform, it's not easy to borrow, but we had a seller at 105 to 108. We cleared that seller. In fact, we got into about 117, but that was as good as we could do, and we started putting in the lower highs. So the lower high trend still very much intact on VMAR, with the volume weighted average price south now of that 95 penny area at around 93.5. So this one's not for me if I was to trade into the afternoon, as it just doesn't have the strength for the bid. So that's all there is, Joey. MSOX, of course, has been a rocket ship, much like TLRY. Good look today for the levered marijuana ETF, up into $8.82. It's been a clean upward channel for MSOX today. So I hope you guys were trading it like that, because the upward channel has been pretty much held up all day, save and except for a couple of wicks there that took out the upper high. Pets breaking out, guys. Here we go. This one is going into 81 high. It's a 90 or 81 print, 92 high there, as this one really does shadow the 10 EMA and look to take out maybe that $4 level if it catches a bid. So PETS certainly in focus with TLRY and Pets, Joey, both at the high of the day currently.
Right on, man. Nice work, nice work. How many names do you trade today?
Today I am 1, 2, 3. I'm 6.
Oh,
I
nice.
am 1, 2, 3 for 3.
Okay.
Yesterday I was perfect,
50%.
6 for 6. Today 3 for 3.
Nice,
Yeah.
brother. Nice. I traded 5 names today, 3 for 5. So not too bad whatsoever. We'll take that. And just sticking with our guns, really. So, yeah, I mean, some nice work, guys. Thanks, obviously, to you, everyone here at the channel. We'll do a quick review. This is going to be one of my smallest share positions aside. Actually, my second smallest considering Hood. So there was the TQs, a really nice move off of the lows. A lot of things correlating for us. And at the end of the day, what should have happened is I should have been in at full size. But again, that's over and in the past. So let's move on to the next thing.
Let's
the
move
TQs,
on.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be so many more opportunities. So maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but one day there will be.
Sir.
And we'll make sure that we have the ability to, hopefully we have the ability to take advantage of them. So there goes the TQs. We'll start from the bottom up. TQs was a nice one for us here. Then we'll head over to TSLL. This was going to be our best performer on the day. Tesla, on multiple occasions, this thing was rocking and rolling, but shortly out of the gates, we see those indecision prints off of those lows, and we were only risking till 80, so about 10 cents there, so 94 to 85, yeah, so 10 cents, and then sure enough, we wait for that 2 to 1, we take it out, and then we hit that reload right here, but unfortunately, it just did an additional wick, and then went that leg higher, so we got to be patient, a little bit more patient for next time, but this is our best performer here on the day. So SMR was pretty good to us as well, too, Sharif. As Kip Dynamite likes to say, please be good to me. So we'll pull over SMR. Oops. I'm tabbing Y. And there it is. I think we go 2 for 3 on this one.
2 for 3.
So, yeah, bang. So we get a nice little move, risking 5 at the end of the day. It comes back to our break even. We get out, then we're patient. We let it phase out, get right back in. Boom, 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 boom. Pa, 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 pa. Yeah, Papa Powell right there. And then sure enough, we get stopped out a small amount on the break even. And then this was our only loss here on SMR. You've seen the Robinhood trade. We'll go over that momentarily. But let's head right over to APLD, because this is going to be our largest loss today. And it's only a 1-hour loss, a little bit less than that, to be honest with you. So APLD, tab NQ. Let's see if you can bring me over there. Bang, thank you very, very much. Sorry, guys, Milo up again at 4 a.m. in the morning, so I was like,
No way.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Is that why you're tired?
Yeah, I don't know why
I figured,
he does that. Yeah, I don't know why he's been
Well, he's a
doing that
puppy.
lately. Yeah, he's 10 now, man. He's grown, man. If he is human, he'd be paying rent at that time. Get this guy paying rent or something like that.
Got to get a job.
Yeah, he's got to get real quick, man.
Maybe you can teach him to walk other dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's in the phase right now where he's barking at the other dogs. I don't know what he's doing. Like, and then when they get close to him,
personality.
But then when they get close to him, he runs away. Like, he's scared. So it's like, bro, you act tough for a couple of seconds, and then you shy.
Isn't that what they say? All bark, no bite.
Yeah, well, that's what he is. The guy weighs 10 pounds at the end of the day. Right back into these markets. This is going to be our only loss here on APLD, guys. Our largest loss, 1 of 2. We're risking at 23. I think we're approximately in, and then we get out right when we're supposed to.
We recovered quite nicely here on the market.
I mean,
Joey, the market's about to go green. The NQ's down 0.1. The Dow and the Rust probably not, but let's take a look over here. Let's bring in.
Hold on, one second there.
Sorry,
1 second there. Yeah, no worries. Let me finish this here on Robinhood.
Sure,
this is our last one, brother.
Yep.
And then we'll send it right off to you. So this is where we took that loss. Small size. I was willing to give it $1, and we get stopped out on Robinhood.
All right, guys, I wanted to point out the strength today in the tech because tech was very negative to start the day. We know that there were really not too many Mag 7 names that were positive. Now you got Softy positive, Meta's up 1%, Apple's about to go green. Google really the only one that's decidedly red on the day. Over 1% on Google, as it still does trade, though, above $300. Nice move as well from NVIDIA, up 0.2%. AMD catching a bit of a bid to the tune of 0.5%. So decent day for technology. But as you look at the semiconductor names that I have there on the side chart, there's not too many. You got Broadcom catching a bit of a bounce, and that's going to force me now to look at the Broadcom chart. As you know, I'm interested in getting Broadcom into my long-term play. So let's do a little bit of TA on Broadcom. So Joey, we talked about the 50 EMA on the daily holding on Broadcom, but that gave way and then gave way plenty. Look at that move, the 10 EMA, or sorry, the 50 EMA up at 363 bucks. We have a low today of 332. Couple of things about this. One, it looks like we're breaking through the 50 EMA, but we are finding support on Broadcom, AVGO, at that 335, I want to say from 330 to 340. That was an area of support that we had from November 13th to the breakout on the 24th. It's also a level that we basically consolidated at for a while, essentially from September 19th to the breakout there, I want to say on October 23rd. So this $330, $340 level on Broadcom, an important area of technical support. That's one thing. The other thing, though, is even if you broke through the 50 exponential moving average on the daily, there's a 3-day rule that I like to employ, which means that it should be before giving up the level, before you confirm, okay, it's given up the 50. Some technical analysts will say, no, it's got to close below the 50 for 3 consecutive trading days, not days, trading days. So I think we've got 1, 2, and today will be the 3rd. So if tomorrow we catch a bid, and I don't think we're going to catch enough of a bid to get us back above 360, I don't think the 50 has as much of a part to play in support as I was originally thinking. It's going to be more around that 330 to 340 area of support on AVGO. I'm not going to try to catch a falling knife. I'm going to wait until, I see a couple of green candles with higher lows.
Oh, okay.
With higher lows so that I know the buyers are stepping in at higher and higher prices. The reason I am so bullish on Broadcom is for the specific reason that I've been giving for a long time. Application-specific integrated circuits, ASICs. They will be, I don't say this like I'm not an industry expert. They could be disruptive to NVIDIA and AMD's business models that want to make specific GPUs, which analysts are saying, is more like of a multi-tool than a Phillips screwdriver, with the Phillips screwdriver being the ASICs, where you make a specific chip for the specific use that you're going to use it for. If it's going to be a large language model and it's going to have a certain purpose, then you make a chip specific for that is designed to work with the software that is being made in parallel with it. Whereas if you're getting NVIDIA's GPUs, you're not necessarily designing the software based upon the architecture of NVIDIA's GPUs, but it works. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. The other thing is, obviously, they're much, much cheaper, and they don't have 70, 80% gross margins. Secondly, they're more energy efficient. So from the energy side of the equation, it seems to make sense for the hyperscalers who have to use lots and lots of energy to power these things. So that's kind of my feeling about that, and I wouldn't mind working that into my portfolio. Guys, we're getting breakouts on a lot of names right now. ALDX, a new area high into 533. This one's going to haunt me at night, Joey.
Look at that VMAR right there.
Which what? That?
VMAR.
That one?
VMAR.
VMAR?
Yeah, that one. I think that looks like it could be.
I've been waiting for this one to break all day. Joey just keeps putting in those lower highs. This is my biggest loser on the day, so I hate this one with a passion. MSOX new high day, Joe. It cleared 902 high, topping tail candle though through 9. MSOX has been a great up higher high, higher low trend. And I don't know where Sean is, but it's 2 o'clock, so it's time to go, guys. TLRY as well, breaching through $14, 14.12 high, dipping down now below 14 bucks, but TLRY was a rocket ship. We took that one from 13.05 into 13.75, guys. So, yeah, That is the look there. Leave them with a thought there, Joey.
Leave him with some thought. We wait for Katina, man. He's rolling in here. I hope everyone had a fantastic. There he is. He's ready to rock and roll. I'll ramble on for a couple of seconds. You know that we got Sharif. He's going to do the afternoon rundown here momentarily. So we'll do it one more time for the boy and my good friend here, Sharif. Let's get those votes in. I'm going to go IBIT. It never makes the list. Why I'm voting? Can I re-vote? I can vote twice. I'm going to go something else, Sharif. TQQ.
Okay.
That was a pretty good one. I could go Tesla as well. So guys, make sure you get those $ votes. And I hope everyone's had a fantastic day. And hopefully you learned a thing or two, obviously from a risk reward standpoint, keeping an eye on some indecision prints and just the detail that each specific candle can tell you. In my opinion, each one has its own